Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hallelujah. Almighty Yahweh, on this beautiful seventh day Shabbat, we total your Kodesh name for you once again, allowing us to stand before you as the body of your son, Yahshua HaMashiach. We give all praise, honor, and everything else that is due unto your Kodesh name, Father Yahweh. We total you first and foremost for breathing the breath of life into each and every one of our vessels, as well as also for you protecting us from every fiery dart that Hashatan hurled at us this past week, as well as each and every moment of our existence. And Father Yahweh, we also total your Kodesh name for you allowing us to be granted victory over every trial, every hurdle, and every obstacle that Hashatan threw our way. And also we cry out unto you on the behalf of your people, the children of Yisrael, those who at this very hour are sickened in the body, whatsoever the case may be, or whatsoever the ailment and how severe it is, Father Yahweh, we ask of you that you take in charge each and every vessel of your people that is plagued and afflicted at this very hour. Abba Yahweh, we ask of you to present yourself to those of your people who are sick in the form of Yahweh Rofika. Allow them to get to know you personally and to see your presence manifest itself in their lives as well as in their bodies with their physical and spiritual healing. Abba Yahweh, we ask of you that you heal all of Israel, those who are afflicted as well as those who may be perfectly fine. Heal us all, Abba Yahweh, from the crown of our heads to the soles of our feet and each and every bodily point in between. And we ask of you also that you cast out whatsoever manner of evil spirits it is that seek to afflict our souls and seek to trouble our hearts and our minds, Abba Yahweh. Give Shaitan no form of victory over Yisrael, whether it be a bodily victory or whether it be that which is designed to destroy and subvert our salvation. Give Shaitan victory in no way, shape, or form, but let Shaitan and his minions know that Yisrael is a nation of conquerors. It's hereditarily encoded in our DNA from Father Yaakov. And Abba Yahweh, we beg of you that you please continually shake up, torment, trouble, and persecute everyone and everything that's designed to subvert Yisrael's obedience unto you. Let nothing hinder Yisrael from obtaining the salvation in which they seek after. And in this very hour, in this very time, we ask of you that you hear Yisrael's prayers and groanings, not just for those that are afflicted, but also all of those throughout the world that are simply striving to obtain the salvation of their souls. Father, we beg of you, fill the faces of our adversaries with all manner of shame, contempt, everlasting confusion. Every weapon in which they seek to pick up, knock it down from their hands, Abba Yahweh. Every trap that they seek to set for Yisrael, let Yisrael sidestep it and let those who set the trap fall into it, as well as also ensnare their families for generations to come, Father, until someone repents or until Yahshua HaMashiach casts the whole lineage into everlasting torment and destruction. Shake everything that opposes the keeping of the Torah in this earth, no matter how minuscule they may be or no matter how grand they may think themselves to be with their power and their might. Weaken it, debilitate it, crush everything that stands in opposition to obedience unto you. Crush them, trample them underfoot, break down their strongholds, everything in which they look to draw strength from, weaken it before their very eyes, Abba Yahweh. And we beg of you that you fight against all those who fight against your messengers. Fill your messengers' vessels with the Ruach HaKodesh. Place nothing but your words in their mouths. Let them be not caught up in self-aggrandizement, but let them get self out of the way so that the Ruach HaKodesh can execute the will of Yahweh. And we beg of you, Father, that you remember those of your people at this very hour, those who are newly converting, newly awakening to this way of life as well. As friends, family members, close associates attack them and try to beat down and weaken their faith before it can even be established, we ask that you let it not be so, but we ask that you place legions of your healing, guiding, warring, strengthening angels to comfort them along the way, as well as to open their eyes and to show them the perfect will of Almighty Yahweh so as to fortify their faith in you and give them the same faith as those who were Israelite born from now until Yahshua HaMashiach returns to gather us all. And Father, remember those who've passed off the scene, those who've fallen away, those who've fallen asleep, in the Messiah, Yahweh. Remember them as well and allow us all to be able to reunite with them in the kingdom age. And Father Yahweh, we ask of you that you prevent us from falling away in these latter days, but allow us as your people to continually hold on to your unchanging hand and not loosen our grip in any way, shape, or form. These things we ask of you ever so humbly, yet fervently and sincerely, in the mighty, precious name of our Savior, King, and Redeemer, Yahshua HaMashiach, we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yisrael, you can feel free to take your seats. Again, this Shabbat, as well as each and every Shabbat that I'm here with you all, it's a pleasure and an honor to be gathered and to be able to return to the Bayet of Almighty Yahweh once again, to not only sing praises unto his Kodesh name and to hear the word of Almighty Yahweh, but to also just simply enjoy the fellowship in the presence of like-minded Israelites striving to keep the Torah. I want to open this portion of our Shabbat observance reading from the book of Yeshayah, chapter 24. Behold, Yahweh makes the earth empty, and he makes it waste, and turns it upside down, and scatters abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the Ami, or with the people, so with the Kohanim, or the priests, as with the Ebed, or as with the servant, so with his Adon, or his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of interest, so with the giver of interest to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh has spoken this word. The earth mourns and fades away. The world languishes and fades away. And the hardy people of the earth, they do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they've transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore has the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourns, the vine languishes, and all the merry-hearted, they do sigh. The mirth of tabrets ceases. The noise of them that rejoice comes to an end. The joy of the harp ceases. They shall not drink wine with the song. Strong drink shall be bitter to those that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All the joy is koshek, or has been darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus shall it be in the midst of the land among the people? There shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, and they shall sing for the majesty of Yahweh, and they shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify ye Yahweh in the fires, even the name of Yahweh, the Elohim of Yisrael, in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even kabod to the Siddiq, or glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yes, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon you, O inhabitants of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he who flees from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that comes up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together, as prisoners are gathered into the pit. And they shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when Yahweh of hosts, or Yahweh of Sabaoth, shall reign in Mount Zion, and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients, gloriously. Dear family, may Almighty Yahweh continue to keep each and every one of you in the hollow of his hand, and may he not let you deviate from the path that leads to everlasting life, not to the right hand nor to the left, but may he continually keep every one of you that calls upon him in sincerity and truth from now until Yahshua HaMashiach returns to gather all those that are his. And when the gathering occurs, May he allow each and every one of us who sincerely strive to be counted in that number that's placed upon his right hand. And dear family, at this time I present to you Zakane Daiweed Ben Yakinhanan Sr. Let us receive him by rendering unto Almighty Yahweh's Kodesh name the highest form of praise, which is Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom Yisrael. Happy Sabbath unto each and every one of you. Blessed be the name of Almighty Yahweh, who only doeth wondrous things. We do truly rejoice in Almighty Yahweh. I told y'all for each and every one of you for seeing your precious faces today in the midst of the cold, as well as in the midst of, again, threatening and or impending storms. We still thank Almighty Yahweh for life, health, and strength in this earth in the latter days. The activity of our limbs is of utmost importance. I told Yah for us, even as each and every one of us grow older with each and every passing day, I was reminded of something on last evening, and I thank y'all for this. I saw this from the angle and perspective of both male and female, and I thank y'all for this. I watched on last evening as Brother Mike approached the sanctuary. He was walking a little slow, and I mentioned to him, I said, "Brother, you walking a little slow tonight. Is everything okay?" He said, "Yes, everything is okay," and he proceeded to walk. And then I watched Ima Anaya, she went to retrieve a coat last night, and I said the same thing to her. And I thought on those things even last night, how Yahweh has blessed Israel in a way where as we grow older in Abba Yahweh and draw closer to him, we really do have a lot to rejoice in. And I think a lot of times we forget that or we fail to see and understand that. And that's why a lot of times the sanctuaries today, they're not filled with the youth and the young people like they used to be. And I notice even as you all just responded, you all agreed to that. But if you think back in your own lives, in those days when the sanctuaries were filled with young children, young men and women, boys and girls, it is because those young children were you. Think on that. And in dealing with the significance of the changing of the times, you see less and less of things. You see less fathers, mothers, and children together in the sanctuary. These are overarching or concluding signs that you're drawing down on the end times. You see less familiar instruction in the sanctuaries, in the homes, in the schools, and even so much as in the streets. There were times you could walk the schools and the crossing guards and different people standing. You could have your little childlike conversation, but you shut your mouth in the presence of adults. But you see things like that fade. You see it less and less. Even here now, if people are watching, you all have to get offended on your own. I didn't do it. You did it. I just happened to see it. But even here, we've seen where the families come in thick in heavy numbers, and then the children decide it's time to go. So that the scripture says, as for my people, children are their oppressors. What is it? Women are their oppressors, and children rule over them. Is that how it works? Now people get offended when you say that. That's in Yahweh's word. So we see the tone for the home, for the family, being set, it's being established. Men got to take responsibility for not wanting to be men and not wanting to do things anymore. I mean, something just came to mind. I'm going to have to say it. It came to mind. It's true. I was reading it in the week, so it's true. Look, in women's sports, you have never heard of testicular injuries in women's sports until 2020 and beyond. Imagine that. See, this is men not wanting to be men.
not a single woman's testicular injury in women's sports till 2020 and beyond. So the men ain't in the home. Men want to be women. Women allowing it. They friending them and all this other stuff. The children growing up, they coming weak. They don't want to be men. They all kind of things are happening. Whatever the case may be, women are not knowing how to do it. I don't need no man. So much stuff is happening. Yahweh is a man. And according to all of the knowledge and understanding that we all have, Yahshua is a man. Okay, so they can say they don't need no man all they want. Look at the family and look at the family structure today. Our children out of hand. Them children crazy as hell. Somebody got bear to blame for it. And ain't but two parties guilty. Male and female, right? Now, anybody here with that third question? You know, whenever you say something, what's the question? I don't care what you say before you get it out. You can be getting on the men. The man, somebody in the room, some man in the room gonna say, what about the women? You can be getting on the women. And some woman in the room gonna say, see, you can never bring it straight down the middle. Never. Somebody got on me on social media. I was saying something and I quoted scripture. I don't know why we like to get in people's comments and talk smart to them. Look, I'm the king of comebacks. I went to public school, man. If you didn't have no comeback in public school, man, you was finished. Yes, you had to do two things. You had to be quick with a comeback, and you had to know how to fight. Because if your comeback was good and you made everybody laugh, you better be ready. Anyway, brother says, see, that's the problem. You're King James. I hadn't said nothing about King James. So I said, well, brother, why don't you study the Hebrew language like I had to do? And then you'll learn more and more about the scriptures as opposed to challenging somebody that probably knows more about the subject matter than you do. Or is it perhaps I should quote something that you're more familiar with? Perhaps Playboy magazine? So I've been waiting on brother to respond back, for a week or so now. See, some people you gotta tear their ass up straight out the gate. Like somebody I'm gonna get today. I'm gonna tear the fur off of you because you're out of order. And I want it to be understood. I don't like the way you talk to me through a text. And I'm gonna read the text. And I'm gonna let the people judge whether or not I'm out of order or if you out of order. But you see, there are times and places where certain things happen. I watch people all the time go to the doctor, and it happens. Doctor give a misdiagnosis. They will never say with their chest stuck out, Doc, redo that thing again. Double check that. Make sure you're right. In fact, triple check it. They don't do that. As soon as the doctor say something, they break down. They fold up like them chairs they beat them white folk down in Mississippi with. We fold up quick. So what's wrong? What the doctor say? He said I got it's ingrown hair. And they act like it's the end of the world. You can't get that with a fingernail clip or something. They want 4 prescriptions and 3 surgeries for ingrown hair. That's how dramatic we are. Tell me I'm wrong. Y'all know your people. Tell the truth, don't you? You know your people, don't you? Go to doctor. Doctor tell them, your eyebrows are getting gray. Oh. Every hair on your body gonna get gray. You live long enough. You faint because of that. Y'all would tell you in the word, faint not in the day of adversity. Another verse says, if you faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is weak. Now, we're human, we're flesh, so yes, our strength is weak. But in Yahshua have I, what does it say? Wisdom and strength. See, everybody get wise when it comes to Yahweh's count. This is what people do to me all the time. This is what people do. Check this out. Right around December, texts, phone calls, or letters. Give me the feast days. Give me the feast days. Feast. Give me the feast days. And I keep saying, we watch that moon, y'all. We count very carefully. We're paying strict attention. Anything in serving Yahweh, if you can do it right, there's one rule. Do it right. Am I correct? When serving Yahweh, if you can do it right, do it right. Don't rush it. Don't make a mess of it, but do it right. People will put the pressure. Give me the fix. Give it. And this is the one thing that always happens. As soon as you release the dates, oh, that's wrong. Oh, you wrong. Oh, that's wrong. You that wise. Why you ain't put your dates out first? In fact, why you ain't give me your dates? That's the most amazing thing that happens. And when you go back in scripture, hear me, y'all, there's nothing anybody, anywhere on this earth has ever done, can ever do, and ever will be born to do that ain't somewhere carefully encoded in Yahweh's word. And sometimes you see it, people do it, or you do it, I'll do it, whatever, and you look in the word and say, well, look at there. I'm pinned to the mat. Go on, tap out. That's all you can do. You cannot wrestle with Yahweh. All your WWF moves and everything are not going to let you win with Yahweh. As the old folks used to say, your arms are too short to box with Yahweh. On the channel, they telling us we need to be using the Enochian calendar. Somebody telling us we got 44 days, can't count Shavuot. I mean, I'm like, damn, how you can't count? And my personal favorite, and I pray Yahweh you listening today, because I'm going to be honest with you. When you sent me your message, I wasn't listening. And I know you know based upon the clear fact that I didn't even respond. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I did not respond. As it was just said, because you were out of order. I got this thing. I looked it up just to check and see. You know, everybody go to the knowledge God, right? Google. So I went to the knowledge God just to check and see common text or phone courtesy when a person doesn't have your number. In other words, if I don't have any of y'all's phone number, I'll use you two brothers. Brother John, if I don't have your phone number and Brother Ron give me your number, if I text you, first thing I got to do logically would be to introduce myself. Shalom, Brother John, this is Elder Johnson. Brother Ron gave me your number, this, that, and other. Here's my question. Wouldn't that be a general courtesy as opposed to just straight out the gate? Brother Johnny, you got any of that fish left that you cooked last week? Send me 2 pieces. And you looking at the text, don't know the number, don't recognize nothing. You like, who the hell is this? Am I wrong for wanting Yisrael that if you reach out to me, at least identify yourself? I talked to people early in the week, on a Hoti call about the feast days, the dates, and coming to this way of life and different things. First thing I said was, well, lock this number in, and I'll lock yours in, so that at least when you contact me, I know who it is, and I know who I'm talking to. Lock me in, I'll lock you in. That's an established rapport. That's how you do things, right? But your first initial contact with a person, you home, you in another state, let's say Pennsylvania. Don't think nobody don't know where you at. Anyway, let's just say Pennsylvania. You home. You decide to text Elder Johnson. The funniest thing about that is, you know who you are. You know who I am. But I don't know who you are. Because your first message to me says, quote, chat with me on chat apps. Let us message privately on iPhone, Android, and more. The invite expires soon. Good. That was Monday, February 16th. Chat with me on WhatsApp. It lets us message privately on iPhone, Android, and more. This invite expires soon. Okay. But aren't you messaging me now? Shalom, brother. Next message. This was the kicker. Urgent. Exclamation point, exclamation point. Shalom, brother. Please have a look at the feast days dates for 2026 again. Feast of Trumpets should be September 11th and not October. And you can make the other necessary corrections going down. Shalom. Now, don't that seem like they kind of like talk to me like I'm a child? Don't that seem like they talking to me like I'm a little amateurish and I don't know what I'm doing? Wow. I was a little offended by it. Chances are, at 60 years of age, I was born in this way of life, and that's not a brag. It's just a humble acknowledgement. I was born in this. Chances are I probably have been in more Passovers and Feast of Unleavened Bread and Feast of Trumpets than you ever will be. But that don't mean nothing. I ain't got no experience. That's the world. There's an interesting book. If you ever want to understand something going on in the world right now, there's a real interesting book out called The Death of Expertise. The Death of Expertise. And it was about running the world, running society in such a way where under so much pressure, the scripture teaches us that in the latter days, knowledge shall be increased and the people shall run to and fro. Okay, people traveling, people doing things, people getting education, they doing this, they doing it. Knowledge has increased with the internet. They put all your stuff together. They got it everywhere. But because all information is still in the hands of liars, your number one source for all truth and all information is, must be, and will always be Abba Yahweh. Correct? That's got to be your number one stop, all source for all information. And if we can't get anything from Yahweh, then we don't know anything. So let the world run with all their knowledge and all their information and everything else. And let people who keep on just looking on the calendar, going with what the Jewish community says, keep going with them. Keep the feast when you want to keep it. Keep Passover, keep it tonight if you choose to. Don't make it me. Some people keeping it in December. All I know, we're not doing matzahs and mistletoe around here. It's the bottom line on that, okay? Yeah, that one was kind of funny, brother Ron. That was matzahs and mistletoe. Anyway, here's what we want to look at today. Today's title is Pay Strict Attention to the 7 Feast Days Instruction. Okay? You want to pay strict attention to that. You can't always tell everybody everything you know. That's one thing about a teacher. A teacher will never teach you everything that they know. Some stuff in the process of teaching may be just a little too high for you, so then they don't give you that particular point in the lesson. Not that they hide and hoard knowledge, because what knowledge they have is going to die with them when they pass off anyway if they don't give it to you. But sometimes some lessons have to be added upon by and only through the student, okay? You get certain things, you learn stuff, you put it in place, you move on, and you do things. Some lessons are learned because people continuously and repeatedly make the same mistakes over and over again, like our fathers have done in Yahweh, like we today are doing in Yahweh. Sometimes we keep making the same mistake over and over again, and when you really study Yahweh's word, you learn the definition of mercy and forgiveness. You become so thankful because you realize it is so easy to get off track. That's what Shaitan does. He's good at his job. If you don't do nothing about the devil, if you ain't got nothing good to say about the devil, you got to say this. He's damn good at his job. Where did he ever mess up? Well, he did mess up one time. Exactly. He got kicked out. See, never let the devil shame you. Let him know straight out the gate, man, shut up. You couldn't even make it in heaven. You had it made. You couldn't even make it there. You got kicked out. But after that, to be evil, to be the devil that he is, let's be real. He got his thing together because he's good at it. Ain't nothing in the earth in scripture nowhere describe the devil being a failure at being the devil, right? So he does his thing. We ain't praising him. He does his thing. And you as Yahweh's people, as his elect, you got to do your thing. You hear me? Brother was telling me the other day, he said, man, you made a point one time that is so profound, man. He said, these pastors, they don't understand it. He said, but you made a point, and it is true. Nowhere in the Bible, nowhere in scripture does it say, if you don't vote, you going to hell. Think about that. Nowhere in scripture does it say that. However, voting is in the scripture. Let's be clear. Voting is there. And the only vote that counts is Yahweh's vote. And he said, you are his elect. Right? I ain't never been in the voting booth a day in my life. I know people been voting. They older than me. Lives in a shambles. Neighborhood all messed up. They can't even get the trash man to put the top back on the can after they take the bags out. You know, your top, your house in the middle of the block, your top way down at the other end of the alley. He pick it off, sling it. You understand? He get the trash bag, throw people in there, and still got kicked the can. See, knock the can or make it look like they were real busy. They just came through. Right? Hustle. Sort of like a lot of us, right? We want to say we keeping the feast day, we keep it messy. Like the trash man, you know, Passover comes, soon as Passover comes, we discard the top, fling it up the alley somewhere, right? So we're really not serving Yahweh fully. We are more so religious Department of Sanitation workers. You hear me? Which means we got to clean up. I got to clean up. You got to clean up. She got to clean up. He got to clean up. People in the back got to clean up. Ones in the front got to clean up. Ones outside, one around the corner. We all got to clean up, right? It's when we think we're so clean, we start getting out of hand. We start walking all in people's mouth. I'm looking at things and watching the comments. People talking about the Enochian calendar and all of this. If you know anything about Enoch's calendar, let's set these three people straight real quick. The Enochian gang. Enoch's calendar was a solar calendar based on a 364-day cycle, which means every 25 years, you're going to knock the feast days out of season. Now, I don't know if you know that or not, but if you keep enough Passovers, you would know that. If you've been around trying to keep the Enochian calendar, and then there's something about Enoch that you must come to understand. You're going to be a big fan of Enoch. You got to understand the power of Yahweh and something Yahweh did so beautiful. Yahweh blessed that man with so much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that it was inapplicable. He couldn't apply his knowledge in this earth, in this lifetime, not on this side of Yahshua's second coming. Make sense? He gave him such deep, such profound knowledge, he had to take him. Because he couldn't relate to you with your high level. I don't know how to make a cell phone. So that's high knowledge to me. I don't know how to project fuel cost and how much is needed to send a rocket to the moon. So that's a little too high for me. I'm down on the earth. I'm in the stupid stuff. I can build a house. I can plant a little something in the ground. I can eat whatever. Okay, mundane stuff. I can deal with that. But the high level stuff, he gave him something was so high, he could no longer stay here. It was of no use to him in this lifetime. Yahshua said, the things that I do, you shall do also, and even greater. You get to that kingdom age and prayers and things of that nature are uttered, starting in this time frame now, especially as you get closer and closer to the latter days. He says, and while they are yet speaking, I will answer. Because your power is coming up. You're getting closer to him. You're getting higher. So now you think the thought, you start to utter it before you can complete it. Yahweh already done it. That's the relationship, okay? That's what Enoch had, and it was so high, it was inapplicable. He couldn't apply it here because he'd be so off base to you all with what he knew. It can only be applied after all the Kedushim or old are brought back, and we're all resurrected and placed in the kingdom. Then can the true power of Yahweh be projected forth in all the earth. Somebody want us to operate off Enoch calendar now. See, they don't think you know stuff like. See, this is what people think. People think you don't know nothing if you don't utter exactly what they thinking as they listening to you talk. You speaking and saying something, you talking, you speaking, you preaching, you teaching on the word, their mind on carburetors, batteries, cables. Now, you ain't said nothing about a carburetor, nothing about battery terminals or anything. You preaching about the feast days. Now the person got a question all of a sudden about air pressure in the tire, and they think they smarter than you because they're asking a question that ain't connecting with what you're saying. So they in their mind thinking, you stupid, because you ain't said nothing about the battery. You get it? This is what people do to us. I'm going to break some stuff down. There's 3 people on the channel. I'm going to punch you right in your mouth today because you need to learn how to shut up. See, talking and getting loud don't make you right. See, no offense to women, but a lot of times women, not women in Yisrael, I hope y'all don't do this. Street women will do this. She can be arguing with her man. What's the first thing she do? I didn't hear you mumble. Okay, she yelled. Boom, voice get loud. Now, because you get loud, does that mean you right? Because you loud, does that mean you smart? But that's what some people do. They get loud on you, right? They get out the gate on you. Well, if that were true, why is it people then become afraid when the one they're yelling and screaming at gets calm? In fact, their voice even gets lower. You ever seen people like that? Somebody yelling and hollering at them, and then their voice get calm. Because chances are, if they calm, you might catch it. All right, look, I tell you what, don't keep on hollering at me. Whatever you do, that hollering, I don't really like that hollering thing. I'm listening to what you're saying. And you keep on, I say, okay, I heard you. But I ain't gonna tell you again. Don't holler at me. I don't like that. Chances are the person gonna kind of like tone it down because they realize, I think he's getting ready to hit me, right? Make sense? See, a lot of times we don't understand body language. A lot of times we don't understand thought patterns. We don't understand speech. And people fail to take into account you can be miles away from a messenger of Yahweh and he can feel your speech pattern. He can feel your very spirit. He can feel your thought process so that they know how to answer you. But a lot of times we thinking we doing something so smart, so smooth, so slick. We are famous for that as a people. But you know what I go doing? I go looking for the other nations around the world to see how they respond to their leadership. And it's only us in Yisrael, where we really get out the gate like that and always got to stick our chests out and show off on one another and prove that we right. But I'm going to walk back through the book today. And I'm going to show you how every time when Yisrael got in trouble, Yahweh always punished the nation because the men wouldn't fall in line the way Yahweh said they should. The way that he said that they should. We go over this every year, and I don't mind. I told the ministers, I said, one thing about this way of life, be prepared to go over subject matter sometimes, over and over and over and over. Be prepared. Sometimes in life, you must also understand that some things that are common sense, we're in an era of time where, like in the writings of Baruch, he did say that a stupor would hit the land. And the stupor would hit the land in such a way that things that we look at and or perceive as common sense would no longer be commonsensical. You hear me? It would be painful. I stopped off somewhere earlier. I can say this. This is me. This is my family. I can say this, not to embarrass them or anything, but it was just something that I learned this week, and it was a little painful for me. So I know this restaurant here, if you Yisrael, you know how it is. You out and you got to stop at places, make sure people eat and cook clean food and things of that nature. Then you know permissible to eat there. Anyway, stopped at this specific place. I was ripping and running all day that day. I said, well, I know where I'm gonna go at. I'm gonna go up here and get this sandwich. I know the people that run the place. I got a nice, beautiful chicken salad sandwich, and stopped by a house to see a couple of my grandchildren. And so while I'm there, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna eat my lunch, hang out with them for a little bit. And I saw something that really unrattled me. It really hurt me because it was a two-step process. And this is where I'm speaking now to us as the men. We got to really learn and understand some things. There's this quote in the world, and the quote is true. It says that hard times create strong men. And strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. So think about where we are on the scale in our life. Yes, it's a cycle. So think about where we are in our generation. Don't give yourself more credit than you deserve, but just humbly, honestly ask yourself, which generation are we? Where are we at? You know, how are we standing? Because you get to see things. Anyway, that quote ran through my mind. I'm talking to my grandson, and I said, for the record, I ain't smearing him. It ain't Isaiah. So don't y'all get looking at him funny, thinking it's him. No. Anyway. So you eat yet? Nah. Well, I got a sandwich here. You want half of that? Get a knife. We can cut this sandwich in half. You can have half my sandwich. And he couldn't cut the sandwich in half with a knife because he wasn't exercising enough strength to cut through the second slice of bread at the bottom. And I said, you got to put forth a little more strength if you want this half of the sandwich. Otherwise, you can take that top piece of bread and just go about your business. You know, I'm joking with him a little bit. But he still wouldn't put forth that energy. So I grabbed his wrist. And you know me, I put that bricklayer grip on him. I squeezed his wrist, held that knife tight. We cut through that bread. So that's how you cut. If you want to eat, you eat. Now I'm going to see if you're going to chew like that, or if you're going to cut through that meat with your teeth. He said, thank you, Granddaddy. And he and his sister and a couple other children, they were out of school that day early. Just how the world messed us up. He ate half my sandwich. About 10 minutes later, DoorDash came. And they had food coming. Took his food and went upstairs. That one hurt. That one hurt. She said to him, why you take half your grandfather's sandwich if you knew you had food coming? And he just said, he didn't have an answer. I didn't say anything. I didn't get mad or anything. It was painful because it was indicative of the overall weakness of us and the generation. And I got to put myself in. I said, no, you got to work harder on things like that. Got to do things. Had a nice long talk with him and conversation on it. And it made me think. See, when you don't have knowledge to do certain things that are life-sustaining, even for yourself, then you get weaker and weaker in things that should, by nature, command strength. You hear me? By nature, it should command strength. But without Yahweh, our weaknesses come out in every way imaginable, and then some. And this is why Yisrael has to really just be careful. When I was young and was in school, I was cutting up, man. It was funny back then to be the class clown, the comedian, make all the children laugh. They would laugh. We all failed together because I wasn't studying like I should, didn't know the subject matter. So in not knowing it, I had to distract the children and make them laugh and giggle. So everybody laughing and giggling, and somebody that might have got a 100, they end up getting an 80. They laughing and giggling, miss a point here and there. But the teacher called home. He told my father, say he can control my classroom better than I can. He said he's a natural born leader. I don't know what it is he does, but whatever he does, they do everything he says. And then when I catch him and I try to get my class back, I have no control. She says, and then he can say this. And they fall in line. Boy, my father looked at me. You know them old-fashioned look. I ain't talking them daddy looks you get now, right? Them daddy looks nowadays, no matter what the child do, dad proud of him, right? Child dumb as a brick. Daddy proud of him. You know why? I rest my case. My voice jumped over there. Because the daddy dumb. And daddy dumb, you know why? Because his daddy, my voice just keep jumping over there. That is so cool. Watch this. Watch this. And his daddy dumb because y'all at home, y'all. Anyway. So my father, he went old school. He had this brown leather belt. I never seen him wear it. It always just hung over the back of this chair in the bedroom. I never seen it in any of his pants. But I always saw the belt twice. Whenever I went in the room, or whenever he was getting at me. And I always was like, why that belt? Use that little flimsy one you got on now. Give me that one. Anyway, my father got a hold of me, man. He put a whooping on me, man. And I think at that day, he probably whooped all the jokes out of me. Because I went to school the next day. You know how people be looking for a laugh or they want something funny. Ain't nothing funny. You ready to fight all of them. I'll fight the janitor. You think you get something funny out of me. But I started learning how to learn. Because I learned that learning ain't so bad. You got to really shut up to learn something. You might not necessarily agree with everything you're hearing. You might not even know the stuff you're hearing. But to learn something, you really got to apply yourself. And one of the greatest things that Yisrael has to know about knowing Yahweh is he said that this word, take heed and do this, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation. You ever want to catch the children of Israel naked with their pants down? That's a bad figure of speech, but what they doing is bad. So you ever want to catch children of Israel naked, ass out? Wait till emergence of the feast day. You can catch them every time. Because everybody know how the feast days go. Everybody know how to count them. But don't nobody never tell you how to count them till you release the feast days if you attend here at the house of Israel. See, if you lay back and wait and don't release the dates until the day before the Passover, nobody ever says when it's coming out. Funny how that works. Sometimes people like the lady did us, she wanted the Passover date 2 years in advance. And I was like, well, damn. She's going to keep the Passover this year and next year. That's passing over, boy. You sure not pay socking now. You're going to do it twice. I'm going to go over some dates, go over some cycles. I'm going to show y'all some things. And sometimes you get tired of people. You know, you get talking to people about things and they just keep going on because they're determined that in reality, I just need to dispute you. It's all this. You don't have to be saying the truth. You don't have to be right. You don't have to be wrong. I just don't like you. And therefore, I need to really go against you. A lot of times we don't know, like Peter. He did not know what type of spirit was really dwelling on him at that precise moment. That's why Yahshua said, you know not what manner of spirit you are of. It was just that somebody didn't know. Remember, Yahshua was explaining how he had to be put to death. Oh, no, master, be it far from you. No. He had to do this that we might obtain salvation. Suppose at the last possible moment, he had changed his mind. See, if you let Jamal Bryant tell it, dumbass. Can I say that? Look at me, I ask y'all, can I say it like I wasn't going to say it? He said that 80% of Yahshua's life, he was out of order. And yet you preaching. You know, see, some people sometimes, see, I ain't no advocate about it, but see, let's be real. See, some people sometimes deserve having them hands put on them, right? See, some people you got straight out the gate, just choke them, you know, just give them instructions. Come here, man, come here. Put your neck right here. Remember that? Remember in, what was that movie? Full Metal Jacket. Get down here. Take my hand and choke yourself, Private. Remember he told him that? I thought that was the funniest damn thing. Get out and choke yourself. I just played my little grandson like this. Come here, boy. Put your neck here. Anyway, that's what Jamal Bryant said about the word. Preaching out of a book, supposedly uplifting the word. And then you want to say the word was out of alignment with himself. Chances are, you know, you got a point. You never do. Man, look, I'm going to say this right here, right now. Say it publicly. I don't give a damn. You don't like what I'm saying? Take a trip up from Atlanta. Come on back up to Baltimore. I'm the one you threw out the church last time you was here. You remember me. See, I got put out up there. We was up there, man. We got on them. We didn't play. No, get them. They little security. They got codes. They be running around. I'll put you out the job. Man, shut up. I'll take your gun. Anyway. You know something wrong with you as a man when you sit up and interview a man. He come out there with his little hot pants on, his little Daisy Dukes. You sit up there and interview a man and tell him, man, he got pretty legs. See, it's something wrong with both of y'all. You and what's the quarterback name? Cam Newton. Anyway, you know something wrong with both of y'all. Let a man tell me I got pretty legs. And then ask me an hour later, well, Don, how'd it turn out? Ask me how it turned out. Well, all right, well, even if I plucked him and he whooped me, at least he got plucked because he know I didn't approve of it, okay? That way I ain't got to stand and act like I won every fight. Point being, some stuff you just deserve whatever come your way. Okay? Anyway, we operate like a lot of those false prophets in the word because nobody really can't tell us nothing. But, you know, the one thing in life you don't want to be wasting is Yahweh's time. Yahweh give you time. Like Malcolm X said, no man is given but so much time to accomplish his life's work. You're not given but so much time to get this right. But if you always got a gripe, you really don't know Yahweh's word. And I was watching them comments and looking at the things and listening to it. People think they know. Let me explain something real quick. The months did not have them names like the world want to apply to it, put it on there. Yisrael came back from the Babylonian captivity and changed the title of Abib to Nisan, following the Babylonian captivity. And in every age and in every captivity, it's just physiologically impossible for a people to lose their Elohim, to go into captivity because of transgression and not pick up the ways of the dominant culture, okay? It's just impossible. That's why the whole generation, though they were redeemed and brought out of Egypt, that older generation, 20 years old and up, didn't go into the land because they had so much of the culture of the alien or the dominant, because they had so much of it that they couldn't wholly obey Yahweh. But the children, if you're learning it and you're trying to teach it to them, and as they're learning it and as they're growing, they polish it, they clean it up and keep following suit because they have to teach it to their children. Eventually, if each generation is a stickler for doing what their parents did and taught them, eventually you polish this thing up like a diamond and you get it right. That's what Yahweh's allowing the whole world to do through every generation. Everybody's getting a chance to turn to him, to polish up your act and to get it right. You follow me? Everybody. And if the righteous, as scripture says, if the righteous scarcely be saved, that means in Yahweh's eyes, we're getting it right, though we barely got it right. We get the A for effort, whereas the world just says, forget it. You understand? So you thinking you had or hit the perfection, you ain't calmed the waves in the sea. You ain't cast out the legions. You ain't toppled none of the world's government. The scripture even says for Yisrael that we have conceived, as it were, and brought forth wind. It says that neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Wasn't no revolution, wasn't no Black Panther revolution, none. Did any of that stuff happen? Number one speech that you heard all week long. Anybody know what was the number one speech you could turn on radio anywhere here? Bingo. I am somebody. I am. Did y'all hear it? And I really listened this week, man. It was damn embarrassing. You hear some of the stuff he was saying. I may be Paul, but I am somebody. And I was like, okay. Then there was this one. This was the one that really dug me in my gut. It said, I may be in jail, but I am somebody. And I was like, can you imagine brother in the jail cell? He hear that, he just jump up, stick his arm through the bar. I am somebody. But he can't go home. Somebody who can't go home. Somebody who poor. In fact, black folk, we got a different type of poverty than white folk got. We are so poor, we can't afford the last two letters of the word. So we just straight poor. Right? Poor folk. Ain't what we call ourselves? Poor folk. I know a brother, he had a store in Baltimore, Poor Boys. When we were young children in our English grammar class, we knew the store was Poor Boys store. But when he got his sign renewed and redone, he put it up there. We realized he was broke. P.O. faded apostrophe. That's been the beginning of his poverty. Boy. Poor boy. Get it? That's how it was. We was like, we were saying it wrong all our lives. We didn't know. We were saying poor boy. I'm going to hit the poor boys. We were saying it. Poor boys. No, it's poor boy. Poor. He was so poor when the pandemic hit. I was doing the radio broadcast, and he called me to come down to the store to meet him. And he said he wanted to make a donation and keep me on the ace. I said, brother, what you doing in the community? He said, ain't nobody talking like you talking, doing what you doing. Come on down my store. I got a donation for you and some other things in case you need it. I went down there, and he gave me the donation. Remember all that toilet paper? That's where all that toilet paper came from. He had a bunch of old, he had toilet paper, everything. Yeah, that's what all that toilet paper. I think I gave some of y'all that toilet paper. Don't y'all be mad. Mr. Po Boy sent that toilet paper. He just, he wanted to send stuff for the pandemic mask and stuff. He was trying to help out. So anyway, we told y'all for people like that that are willing to jump in and to help out because they know you can't keep that stuff for yourself. You have to share and distribute among Yahweh's people as best you can. And it's really heartbreaking that you can't get to everybody. And that is the truth. You can't always reach out and do everything for everybody. And then sometimes there are just those days when you look up and find yourself scrambling and struggling also. But Yahweh is greater. So always be willing to give Yahweh that great praise and honor, okay? Let's get into this without really having to rebuke or embarrass or disrespect anybody the way they were doing us and they were all on the channel and just going hot and heavy at us. I think sometimes it's better to just kind of remain quiet, stay humble, stay behind the scenes if that's what you have to do. There was a boxing match took place a few weeks ago. I don't know if it was comedy or what. I only saw one round. I saw the round where the brother was punching on him. He was punching and whooping him, showing up, and he knocked the brother's hair off his head. Y'all see that? Anybody see that fight? He just was punching and punching, and some kind of way he hit him with this one uppercut, and that uppercut was so hard it just knocked all his hair up. Black brother. Ain't that often you see a black brother with a wig. You hear people say, "Boy, shut up! I'll peel your cat back." Well, he literally got his cat peeled back, and as the man was punching him, you had to watch it as they slowed it down because he's punching him. It was so funny. He couldn't even punch like he wanted to because he couldn't believe what the hell is happening with his hair. And, yeah, the one that lost his hair won the fight because he snatched it off. I think he threw it in the audience, right? So he could focus now. Plus, come on, man. I don't know how much it costs to get it sold on, but hey. Anyway, here's my point to connecting this. We really need to chill out, man, because some of this stuff we be saying and doing, by the time y'all would get through with us, he be done punched our hair off our head. Because, see, we be going at the word and going at things that sometimes argument that don't even make sense. Brother asked me the other day, for example, how did I get out of jury duty? And the funniest thing came to mind because somebody taught me how to get out of jury duty, and it was kind of funny. He said, "Yeah, man, you can go down there, man. Because see, I don't know if y'all notice or not, they trying to fight your religious exemptions. If you quote scripture, they trying to fight that and say that ain't grounds or that ain't good enough. If that don't work it's always King David's plan B. King David played crazy. Remember that? They thought he had to break down. But he came back and tore the fur off everything that thought he was crazy when it was over, right? Anyway, so a certain person told me, he said, "Yeah, when you get down there, sit off by yourself. Just look around at the lights in the ceiling. Then answer the wall. Just say something back." He said, "Yeah, just say something out loud." Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the monkeys do the bump too. I said, "What?" He said, "Say it just like that." 60 seconds later, your number get called. You going on down the hall. So I told brother, "Well, go in there and play crazy and see how that work out for you." Okay, well, about an hour later, guess what? His phone rang. "Yeah, man, I'm out of it." He said, "How you know to do that?" I said, "Crazy person." Dude, crazy brother told me I'd do it. Anyway, Yisrael got to stop playing religious crazy people. I'm going to tell you why. For the real art and enjoyment of salvation, it's just like eating a good meal. You ever ate a meal, food just so good? I mean, food that's so good. It make you slow down eating it because you don't want to get it over with. You ever had that? Where it's just so good, you just, you know what? I'm gonna take my time on this. And I'm gonna chew all. You be smacking. That's rude, but you can't help it. You got to beat every seasoning that's in it out. And don't let it be something that's left over from the day before. Right? Even had some beans put on, man. These beans, the flavor in the beans was jumping the first day. It was jumping. But that second day, it was like they jumped out the bowl. "Hey, Elder John, where you been?" They just hugged me. Yahweh's word is that way to us. if we let it. But if we're so apprehensive, trying to learn everything, trying to ace every test, trying to get 100 all the way around, and trying to graduate before the graduation date, we're going to mess this thing up, right? That's why you really do have to pay attention, because Yisrael is the only nation on the face of this earth that looks to another people on instructions on how to worship their own Elohim. Now tell me that ain't pitiful. That's pitiful. And the poor little children of Israel don't know Yahweh's calendar has 30 days to the month. Stop trying to be so precise, down to the minute, down to the hour, down to the precise second. Stop that. You don't find that nowhere in the scripture with that we said, I will wait to see if I go in there at the new moon feast cycle. I got another 30 seconds to go, 29, 28. You don't read that. They sighted the moon. Now, if we're going to use the enemy's tools and things of that nature, just like I said earlier, sometimes a good teacher can't reveal all his sources to you, because sometimes you come back with questions trying to outthink things, trying to get smarter and be greater than what you actually are. Now you got a bunch of questions that end up balling you up and confusing you more than you already were, right? Sometimes some things they have to leave you to your own devices so that you catch on, and then oh yeah, I got it now, and you can do a little better, correct? Not Yisrael. We want everything done the way that we think it should be done. I want to talk to you. Let me go here first. Let's go to Deuteronomy 29:9. I'm going to show y'all something. See, Yahweh's people, I talked with a brother yesterday that got me started, showing up started in the construction industry. And, man, we had just a few minutes talking, no more than a half hour standing there talking. No matter what he talked about, how when we were younger, getting started in the construction industry, how you really had to fight for your job and your position. The beauty of this conversation was that no matter what we talked about, he always connected it back to the scriptures, because that was all I was into on that job site. And as I learned from him, he was learning from me. And he just kept talking about how you tied everything into everything we were doing in such a way that you actually made the job. And I was like, no, you made the job. He ran the job like a military general. And people couldn't tell if he was tearing them down or encouraging them, because he talked to everybody the same. But his love for people was really just to build you up. If you were lazy and slack, he did you like the sergeant. Pick your feet up. Do this, do that. Get in here. You can do better than that. You're better than what you are. And if people could cut the mustard, they succeeded. But if they couldn't, they got mad and they tended to walk away. That's what the word of Yahweh does. It reproves, it rebukes, it exhorts with all long suffering. And a lot of times we can't take that when we are, like Jamal Bryan said, out of order. So watch what happened to Yisrael for being out of order. Deuteronomy 29. I ain't going to cover all of this, but I want to start at this 9th verse. Listen to this. Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. You hear what he's saying? You keep the words of this covenant, you'll prosper in all that you do. Didn't I say last week? Yahweh's word connects to everything in life, right down to nature, right down to science and all of this stuff. Yahweh's word overshadows it all. We just don't put Yahweh's word in it the way that we should. And if we did, we would really be able to do some of these things, because, see, childlike trust is required to serve Yahweh. Childlike trust is required to serve Yahweh. He's not asking for professorship. See, they are professors. They supposed to know, right? They're on the college. They teaching you, right? Anybody ever had a conversation with a professor where you really balled them up? Nobody? I'm the only idiot. Okay. Anyway, I was out UMBC years ago, right? College professor was teaching, he was talking his stuff, he was laying it out, right? About America. I'm one of 2 or 3 black students in there, and he got to let us know America's a great place to be. It's the land of opportunity for everybody, and people and all that they've been through, the land and the opportunities, the blessings and the beauty of it It's here. Everybody can benefit from it. Look at the blacks, even them. Is it not true, David? So I said, no, that ain't true at all. And all the little white kids at the same time had an asthma attack. Primatine Mist wasn't out then. I probably would have donated and got them all an inhaler or something. But so I said, well, no, that can't be true. So come on up front. Prove this to me. I got to see this. So, okay, now I'm a bit of a comedian, so I go up the front, right? I wasn't doing all that great in the class, so first thing first, I erased all the stuff he had on the board. Got rid of that, but slick move, right? So then I started writing my stuff down just to throw everybody off. My point was, you said that this is the land of opportunity and everybody can benefit and do this and do that. My whole thesis was to prove to him, if that were really, literally true, I asked, why is it then that everything black people have, they always had to fight you, white people, to get it? Because if it's so fair, we shouldn't have to fight for it. It should be just as readily available for me as it is to you. But the fact that you delight in knowing we had to fight you to get it, you have no bragging rights once we get it by saying, we gave you this. Nah, homie. We had to fight you to get it, which means you were unjust and did not want us to have it. And when I had the white children and they all started understanding, I said, well, ain't no need of doing this without capping it off. So I said, well, let me make them cry. The one thing white folks learned about me is I will divide and conquer them in the room. You got to do to them what they've done to you. So I made them cry. I said, y'all remember that song? I said, I don't know who sang it, but there was this song that the people sing because they were afraid of the people that did these murders. And the children was like, what murders? So remember that song? Anybody here seen my old friend John? Can you tell me where he's gone? Mr. John said, Bob Dylan. So he freed a lot of people. And I did this in the class performing, just messing with them. And they were listening and thinking. I said, go home and ask your parents, who really killed John Kennedy? Who killed Malcolm X? Mark Clark, Fred Hampton, Medgar Evers. And then I threw George Lincoln Rockwell in there. He was a right-wing Nazi racist leader. I threw him in there because I was trying to get them to see something. Whatever was controlling the world had things that were emerging that was in opposition to it. And it had more power than they did, and it deemed it more responsible to kill them in order to get its way than to allow them the right to live and overthrow its ideals. And once I threw that out there, man, that messed up the whole class. Because little white kids, because they thought about their parents playing that song. See, that's what them little hillbillies and college liberals was doing, crying because they wanted to know who did it. And I sat down on this note. I said, remember now, the Rolling Stones sang a song called Sympathy for the Devil. And in that song, they were singing on behalf of the devil. But you got to listen to the lyrics because the devil was bragging about all the dirt that he did in world history. I said, put them two songs together side by side and you solve a series of global murder mysteries. But you all are too busy thinking that you're such great liberal people that you freed the black people. If you were such righteous and upright people, we'd have never been in captivity under you anyway. And I learned that day them white folk respected me because I tore a hole in their own ideology. And there is no better way to overcome them than when you rip their stuff to shreds. You hear me? When you make them see that their way is nothing, there's nothing they can do with you. And that's the only way the world going to be overcome right now. The poor little children of Israel, we don't keep Yahweh's commandments the way that we should because we're too busy always trying to fight. Sometimes you got to take your boxing gloves off. If you want to sign that check, you got to take them damn boxing gloves off. Am I correct? They ain't gonna put no pen in your hand. You got no big old 15-ounce glove. Yeah, I do this every day. No, you don't. You need your hands free. So here the word says, keep the words of this covenant and do them that you may prosper in half the stuff you're thinking about. That's what y'all books say, all that you do. You shall stand. You stand this day, all of you, before Yahweh your Elohim. What it say? Your captains of your tribes, your elders, your officers, with all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, the stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood to the drawer of thy water. Sound like you had servants to me. Thou shouldst enter into the covenant with Yahweh your Elohim, and into his oath which Yahweh your Elohim maketh with you this day. Why? That he may establish you today for a people unto himself. You get it? Today we establish him as our Elohim. He established us as the people unto himself. We get around in there and we act like we telling him what to do. When his feast day, only people that I know will tell Yahweh when his feast days are and should come around. Only people I know got authority to do that, and he ain't telling them to do it. That's the damn Jews. Whatever they say, whenever they say the feast days come around on the calendar, we all do it. And when y'all be charging at me, telling me we got the dates wrong and the right dates that you think is in your mind, you give me your dates and your dates matching their dates, I don't pay you no mind. Because I know you don't know Yahweh. So what did I read? The brother said the feast day, Feast of Trumpets should fall on September 11th and not October. Here's a point I want y'all to catch. Can't tell everybody everything you know. Everybody get what little you teach them and try to run over you. Some stuff you got to hold them at bay. Reveal that to them at a later date and time. I'm looking at a satellite, one of the most powerful satellites in the world. I go in, I log on, I check what they got going, their visuals of the moon and everything, right? And I noticed that when they give these dates and the different things and looking at this specific satellite system, they always give the date for the new moon. And their satellite is looking at it, and it's registering this for the earth. And they'll give a date and say, new moon, visibility percentage, 0%. Yahweh's people, if they know that there are 30 days to Yahweh's month, then you will know that on the 29th and the 30th of each month, you can't see the moon. The 29th and the 30th. The first time you see the moon, that next night, that's the new moon. Percentages and visibility are anywhere between 1% and 3%, depending on the season. You hear what I just said? So brother told me that it should be September 11th, and according to what I know, and according to what I'm looking at, September 11th is a dark moon. It's the 30th. So brother, you want to keep Feast Tabernacles on September 30th? You go right ahead. You go right ahead. Keep it when you want to keep it. But don't be trying to get me all out there in WhatsApp and all this stuff. Why I got to chat with you on WhatsApp if you text me? If you text me, then that means my phone worked. I can receive the text. I think I should be able to text back. Ain't that how it works? Or even better, call me. We are so rebellious. We are so hard-headed, we can't count. Walk with me real quick, y'all. Remember the mathematics system in school? You learn your multiplication table, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Stop right there. 21. Now, if we multiply that by 10, then shouldn't that be 30, 60, 90, 112, 120? Shouldn't it keep going? The only thing you did was add a 0 at the end, right? So from the New Year's Day to the 7th month, once you calculate that New Year's Day, 7 months later should be 210 days. Am I correct? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. If we multiply it by 10, then the 21 turns into 210. 210 days in should give you the first night of your 7th month. How did you got the Passover falling in April and end up closing the feast days in September? You count it. You tell me how many days it is. Because I got to go over this because our people, they can't hear Yahweh. I ain't going to rebuke them. I ain't going to fuss. It ain't everybody, because some of us are sincerely trying, but everybody can't hear Yahweh. Because when I read this stuff in Leviticus to you and show you 7 steps, 7 steps so that you don't get out of alignment with Yahweh. 7 steps so that you don't get out of alignment with Yahweh. Let me stand up and say it. 7 steps so that you don't get out of alignment. You ain't got to be listening to the world. See, when you lack faith, people can bust you down. Remember this? Remember you go to school? Your mother or father could buy you something nice with whatever money they could afford, but you knew good and well your shoes look good, or your pants look good, your blouse, you knew you were nice looking in your clothes, right? Didn't you always have that one person in school, that poor person, that bum, or that mean person, or whatever, that bully, that always try to make you feel bad? But yet their parents couldn't afford what you had. Not getting into classism, but just being real. Try to make you feel bad. Look at that old raggedy blouse. Look at your old cheap shoes. Try to make you feel bad, but your stuff was better than theirs. Come on, Yisrael. It's the same thing with us with these feast days. We try to make us think, I got it better than you. But if you just bought a calendar from Walmart and whatever was on it is what you went with, something wrong. You hear what I'm saying? Somewhere along the way, something wrong. And I'm going to walk people back through these calendars. I think the youngest, what I got up here? 1993. 2010. 2011. 12. 13. Give me a minute. 14, 15, 16, 17. Say it. 18. 19. 20. 21. I can go on. I got them all up here. This one on the back. Here we go. 26. And we're going to go back over this in a little while, because there's something that has to be said to Yahweh's people. And this thing is so simple. Here's why brothers always mess it up. If he ain't called you to do it, it ain't your job to do it. Right? Most men that work in the construction trade love this one statement I make. And I make that statement because it's true. I'm a bricklayer by trade. I ain't a carpenter. So if I need work done around my house or something that carpenters do, what have you, some of us brothers do. Tell you, how many brothers will do it anyway? You know you can't do it. You know you ain't good at it. How many do it anyway? How'd it turn out? He said, crooked. Me too. Me and you both. We twins then. Crooked. How yours turn out? It'd be all right. Okay, you good. Some of us can do that. But I try to stay in my lane. What I'm good at is what I'm good at. If I'm working on your house and I'm doing the brickwork, putting the fireplace in, getting your chimney, putting the concrete walkway in, whatever, I know it's going to look good. I love you. I'm working for you. I'm going to put some love in it. When I walk away from it, I'm looking back one time and I'm saying in my mind, wow, that looked good. Because I want you to say it every day you walk in your house. Wow, that looked good. But stuff I can't do, I stay in my lane. That's what Yahweh told Yisrael about certain things and the way the law is handled, the way certain things are done. Stay in your lane. Can you imagine Moses coming up out of the land of Egypt? He got everybody together. You know how long it take to move 1 million people. Got everybody coming. You lined up. Somebody almost in the back. They 3 rows from the last person out. Hey, Moses, when you get out there deep in the wilderness of Zin, do me a favor. Bang a hard left. Stop at that 7-Eleven out there. I'm going to get a pack of camels. They already had their own pack of camels. Anyway, that's how we think. So you can't tell us anything. But the word of Yahweh is for our own good. Thou shouldst enter into the covenant with Yahweh your Elohim and into his oath, which Yahweh thy Elohim maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee an Elohim, as he hath said unto thee, and as he hath sworn, listen, unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before Yahweh Elohim, and also with him that is not here with us this day. He was talking about you. Y'all weren't born. Anybody came out of Egypt that was still here? Any of y'all was back there, came out? You remember what happened that night y'all left? Tell me about it. But yet he said, even make this agreement with those that are not here. Here you were in your father's loin. In fact, you wasn't even in your father's loin. You hadn't even come out yet. But yet you were so well loved, Yahweh knew you were coming into existence before you ever got here. Now, that's serious. That's serious. And that's how you know we be playing with Yahweh, because we don't even think that deep ahead to say, he knew I was going to be born in the world one day. I'd be the child of Christian parents, Muslim parents, or what have you. But he would wake me up because I come through that lineage and this branch and that branch. Then they got off over here, and then they got off track here. And then a Hebrew got with this wife, and boom, bam, boom, down the line of time. And then a Christian jump in and mess up the lineage again. And Yahweh bump it back in place. And boom, here I am 3,000-4,000 years later. A Hebrew calling on his name. He knew he chose and wanted you. Why the hell then do you have to practice being so damn rebellious? Especially once we come to the knowledge of it, right? Look, y'all, let's be real. It's the happiest thing in the world to know who you are and to know who you serve. But then the reality of it all still kicks in. You got to calm down and do your part. You got to do your part on the boring day. You got to do your part on the not so good day. You got to do your part on the winning days when everything going your well. You got to do your part on the days where you don't see your way clear. You still have to do it. So where are your bragging rights? Oh, we keep feast day. Oh, we got calculators. Oh, we did this, we did that. How come your stuff matched the stuff of the people that hate Yahweh? See, if you got it so right, you don't need them. We don't need them. I don't pay him no mind. I give Elder Owens credit on this, because last year Elder Owens called me and said, hey, but man, look, Elder John, I don't know how they doing it. They starting a month after us, but they closing out right with us. And I said, yeah, that's interesting. Now here we are. The moon cycle shifts. It walks back and it walks forth, and I can talk to Israelites, and I can tell when I know they don't know this, because they go arguing with whatever it is on the calendar. How is it you never have a different date until we give the dates? And then you're arguing your specific point. Here, Yahweh told the children of Yisrael that you had to do this thing and not get turned away from Yahweh. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 23. Today's topic again, pay strict attention to the 7 feast days instructions. You have to pay attention to this. This is nothing to get all bent out of shape and balled up on, listening to somebody else. Look at the black community today on the internet. 2 things destroying the children of Israel right now. You know what the children of Israel are doing that's really a damn disgrace? The children of Israel, and some of them catch them on social media, go on their page and watch what they be promoting. How you an Israelite? You promoting the doctrines and the teachings of a Christian because it sounds good, it sounds smooth, but they preaching it to you, and you sharing it, and you uplifting it. You mean you can't find no Hebrews laying the word out better than that, and you so sucked into the Christian doctrine, they got you flipping out and popping and snapping off in the assemblies of Yahweh. So you think Yahweh people don't know nothing, but this Christian ministry, husband-wife team, and all this other stupid stuff, you quoting them and their mission from God. One place I was looking at it, the lady was talking about their mission impossible from God. And then they had the Mission Impossible theme music. Dun, 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 dun. I said, these people crazy. And Hebrew women on there, yes. I said, see, Can I say this? You know I'm going to say it. I was looking at it thinking to myself, see, you need your face slapped so you can come back to reality. You know how you ever see a person get hysterical? What they do to a hysterical person? Slap the hell out of them. Come on, hold yourself together. Pat, 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 pull yourself together. And you see, somehow it works. I don't understand. Somehow it works, right? Now, don't y'all be running up here when I get excited and be teaching. Be running up here slapping me. I'm in control with my faculties. I know I'll be a little theatrical, but anyway. So no Hebrew can teach us Hebrews because we're just walking off in la la land. Remember they was what was that show when them little kids be skipping as I walk with you hand in hand in Disneyland. What was that little show? Anyway, it was just stupid. Everybody's supposed to be so happy, like the Teletubbies or something. Don't nobody remember that? I'm a victim of TV. See, growing up, Cap Crunch, Cap Chesapeake, all that stuff. So anyway, look, man, y'all remember Cap Chesapeake? Look at y'all, everybody like, oh yeah. Remember Moan D, the Sea Monster? Then years later, you get a president look just like Moan D. President move like him, you don't even recognize it. Anyway, we are so happy promoting everybody else's doctrine, we can't live what Yahweh told us to live. Leviticus 23, you got to hear this. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Yisrael, and say unto them concerning the Moedim, or the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be Kodesh convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Shabbat of rest, a Kodesh convocation. You shall do, listen, no work therein. It is a Shabbat. It is a Shabbat of Yahweh in all your dwellings. It's the Shabbat, right? Step 1. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even Kodesh convocations. You shall proclaim in their season. See, you got to know the season. You got to know when this thing changes. Yahweh put Israel in captivity, and he mapped the thing out and then blessed you to start figuring stuff out years later, years from now. One thing about this stuff that they got, winter, spring, summer, fall, it's mighty funny that they know when this stuff comes into play. And if you're looking at any map and you know where we are as far as the captivity is concerned, there's one thing about the global weather patterns that you'll understand. Temperatures are similar in North America, going straight across to that top of Africa, going on across to that region they call the Middle East, coming all the way across to what they call China. In that space, in that window, the temperatures are primarily the same. Are you following me? So as those temperatures are primarily the same, you're looking at a global map. If it's a flat map, go up. Look at what's that up there? Greenland? What's that bright orange above North America? Yeah, Canada. All of that up there comes straight across. Doesn't that cover Europe, Russia, and all the way across? Ain't it cold up in them regions of the world? Drop down to the midpoint of Africa, down by the equator, right? Hot down there, ain't it? Come on across the Argentina, all across South America. Come on back this way, Australia, and all them little islands down there. Ain't it hot in them regions of the world? So then going into captivity and being put here in America, Yahweh blessed you with something because your timeline can still match the timeline of the Kodesh land that you came from, meaning your seasons and the cycles are so similar that you shouldn't be thrown out of whack once you awaken to the knowledge of who you are and where you are. Does that make sense? See, when you're trying to tell this to Yahweh's people and they are grappling and under the spell of people that are not Yahweh's people, you don't know how to fight them. You don't know how to fight them. See, they come along and give you anything. And I'm going to show you the Jewish community keeping Yahweh's feast days on a 6-month time frame. And then to throw you off, show enough. Tell me, why is it by the time the Feast of Tabernacles and Trumpet rolled around, why is it they're calling that month the New Year? Tell me. Now, I'm supposed to trust a man texting me the date telling me when the Feast of Trumpet going to fall, and then I can work the rest of the dates down. In other words, you can figure out the rest of it yourself. I mean, you talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old child, and you talk to me like you was up on the mountain, like you was Moshe giving us the commandment. And if I don't do what you say, you're going to throw the tablets down and bust my head. That was offensive. When I read the text and I knew you didn't even know, and I'm saying it to your face, I purposely put that phone back down and didn't text you, didn't respond, didn't say nothing. You didn't even have the courtesy to introduce yourself. We are a shameful people. Step 1, in the 14th day of the first month, at even, is Yahweh's Passover. On the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahweh. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. Now, if you just following Yahweh's commandments and you keeping it and you just look on any calendar, then you will be keeping this in the 14th day of the first month. What month, if you just really looking at a calendar, doing whatever's on there, what month would you really be keeping the Passover in? January. Bottom line. But being as though that ain't Yahweh's first month, but the heathens did it, last week's lesson should have been enough to make anybody, before they send something, should have been enough to make them stop, because the lesson was entitled, They Have Seriously Thought to Change Times and Laws. How in the hell can you contact a man later in the week verifying that you're in alignment with those who have thought to change times and law, and think a poor little man of y'all don't know how to count? Unbelievable. I'm telling y'all straight out the gate. Unbelievable. So at any rate, that's the way this thing is going now. And Yahweh's people got to really be paying attention, because if we ain't paying attention to this, these people will walk you out of salvation. They'll walk you out of it. This is why you got to stand firm. You got to know what you know, right? You got to stand firm and know what you're supposed to know. In the first day, you shall have a Kodesh convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. And I'm going to prove to you why Yahweh made the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread a Kodesh day, because you want to also know historically now, what were they doing in Egypt when they kept the Passover? What happened the next day? I'm sorry. They were coming on out, which meant that was the marking. That was the line of demarcation. This is now officially a holy day. The first great day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, they were coming out. It is imperative that Yahweh's people know that, as well as understand, if you're coming out at a specified time, then you're ingathering all your harvest, which is symbolic of the entire world. And Yahweh's feast days is going to give you the date of when to keep it in the 7th month. Then you must also understand it'll be somewhere around that time frame. And Yahweh's people better get closer as the time draws near, because when Yahshua come, you got the calendar and the date. Though Yahweh said, no man knoweth the day nor the hour, you got the season. You at least got the season. Now let's be real. Y'all ready for this? 2 weeks ago, when the temperature was 4 degrees, 5 degrees, remember that? Tell the truth. If Yahshua had come back to get you then, what would have happened? Be honest. Some of us might have missed it, right? You cold, you know you want to try and come out. I had one neighbor didn't dig the house out, stayed in the house almost 2 weeks, left snow and everything right on the step. Didn't come out, didn't clean the car off or nothing. Now imagine he came back during that season, cold as it is. When he plainly told you, pray that as this thing goes down, pray that your flight be not in the winter and neither on the Shabbat. Why would he say that? Now, I want all the smart Alex that got on the line after the message is over and telling you're not keeping it according to your Enochian calendar. Oh, you got 44 days. Don't even know how to count. I remember a minister years ago, he did that. He came in town and he messed up the people in the D.C. region. He tried to mess the people in Baltimore, but I think Yahweh El John wasn't going for it. El Johnson taught him. He get up. Right? See, that's the thing about teaching people. Now you teach people stuff, they get up later, stick their chest out. That's what dude did to me. I taught him one of my favorite students. I was teaching him. I had him rolling. He stood up one day. I'm better at it than you. I'm better than you. He's young. He thought he was good. Didn't know nothing. He's so much better at it than me. He get 50 years in prison. 50 years. Go out trying to get initiated in the gang. 50 years. threw a whole career away. Come out, you'd be too old to lay brick anyway. I'm better than you. That's what we do. The scripture says that the student is not above his teacher. It is enough that the servant be like his leader. It's enough. And we just can't take the humble road. Man, what I wouldn't give to be sitting there and have Elder Johnson here. I remember years ago when the pandemic first hit, my little grandson was in his little daycare center, man. He met his little friends, man. And he's a very loving little fella, man. When he meet and attach people, he loved people. I never forget that day when it was all shut down, and it had been shut down for a week or so, and they couldn't go because of COVID restrictions and all. And one day he just said like a little old man, "Oh, I miss my friends." And I just looked at him. I was like that early in the week. I said to myself, "Oh, man, I miss Elder Johnson." Because Elder Johnson was a teacher's teacher where he could go in his book and pull certain things that were so deep and so intense, you as the layman might not catch it because he was teaching and blessed in a way where Yahweh blessed him to make teachers. See, the teachers at the teacher's college, you come out of high school, you go to college, you want to be a school teacher, whatever. They are teachers who teach the teachers. But the teachers who teach the teachers don't go in the public school systems and teach the students. They teach the teachers how to teach. Right? They are in somewhat, if we're going to use the sense, they are above the students. They don't teach the students. They prepare you. And that was Elder Johnson's gift. He raised Israel up in such a way where he could prepare men to go forward and teach. You know, when you challenge these brothers and says, how many of your fathers walked you out at night to sit still, to watch for the moon? How many of your fathers taught you that? As boring as that is, it's so exciting. People don't catch that. Because people, I ain't want no damn moon. Some of Yisrael so messed up and so balled up, they say the full moon is the new moon. What kind of lunacy is that? Now, let's deal with that word lunacy and lunatic and lunar. Because you damn well got to be crazy to watch the moon growing in the sky for 15 nights in a row. You see it every night. When did it renew itself? Because it's full. Yahweh give Israel context clues. Two of Yahweh's major feasts happen on the 14th and the 15th night. Both nights are full moons. The moon is full. It is bright. Yahweh's people didn't have no BGE, all this other stuff all over. They had their lamps or what have you, but he gave you the brightness and the fullness of the moon in the Pesach and in the Feast of Tabernacles. And he give you that greater light for the day to rule the day and a lesser light to rule the night. And he said that it was for signs and for seasons and established it for months. How does the children of Israel come out like the heathens? Like the man told me, September the 11th should be the new moon. I went and looked at the satellite just to make sure I was right because I calculated, took the time before we sent it out, watched it carefully. September 11th is the 30th. Keep the Feast of Tabernacle trumpets on September 30th if you want to. And I'm telling you to your faith, keep it on the 30th and see if you ain't keeping it on the 30th night. That's the 30th night because the next day is broad daylight. You're still a day too early because that's the 30th day. But I ain't going to say nothing to you because you clearly know more than I know. In the first day, you should have a Kodesh convocation. You should do no servile work. But you shall offer an offering made by fire, meaning whatever you offer by fire unto Yahweh, it's got to be something that you cooked. So I don't know what the vegetarian's going to do. Now, you can, what we going to call it? Hebrew stir fry? You can cook up some rice. You can cook up some bell peppers. You can cook an onion, I guess. Anyway, just a little context clue here. People are, you ain't supposed to be eating no meat. I be hearing Hebrews say that. You ain't supposed to be eating no meat. Really? What is a lamb? A lamb is a vegetable? When did this happen? Come on, man. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when you be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, Then shall ye bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. Notice now, watch this. Step 2. And ye shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you. Listen now. On the morrow, after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it. And I can prove to you people can't count, but they told us last week, you got 44 days between the Pesach and the Shavuot. You got 44 days. They can't even count 7 complete weeks. And whoever put that up on that channel last week, I got one word for you. D-U-M-B. In fact, you get 3 B's. D-U-M-B-B-B. Dumb. Dumb. You can't hear the voice of Yahweh. Let me see if I got this straight. This is how you set this up. Ye shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you. On the morrow, or in other words, if you don't understand it, on the morning after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it. Now, let's help Yisrael understand this real quick. Let's pick a day. I'm looking on the calendar here for, this is 2011. Watch this. Passover night was April 17th, 2011. April 17th, 2011, which was a Sunday night. The 18th was the Passover day. The 18th at night, Monday night, was the Feast of Unleavened Bread. First night, okay? You had the 19th, which was Tuesday, the 20th, which was Wednesday, the 21st, which was Thursday, the 22nd, which was Friday, the 23rd, which was the Shabbat. The 24th would be the last great day. Check out what had to happen now. The 24th was the morrow after the Sabbath. You have to have a Sabbath in between. These people think they can count it better than we can. If the Passover falls on a Wednesday, like it did with Yahshua, put to death on a Wednesday, by sundown, he was in that ground. So he was in that ground Thursday night, Friday night, Sabbath night. As it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, by Shabbat Eve, in the Shabbat, he was up and out of the grave. Guess what? Miriam thought he was the gardener because he resurrected and he had the wave sheaf in his hand. The Feast of Unleavened Bread was not over because he got up as the high priest to make the wave sheaf offering. It has to be the morrow after your first Sabbath, your regular 7-day Sabbath, in order to get 7 complete weeks. Your count always starts on what the world would call a Sunday morning. Now, if you can't count 7 complete weeks to see how we came up with the feast day falling in May 24, clearly you can't count and need to go back to school. And if by chance you got any children and your children going to school, here's what you do. I know you're going to get mad at me, but this is what you need to do. Pick the youngest one. Keep him out of school come Monday. Let him stay home and you go. Because you need to learn how to count. Let him stay home and you go. Because if you start counting that Sunday, you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 7th day is the Sabbath day. It is called the Feast of Weeks because it has to be 7 complete weeks. Now, I guarantee you, somebody going to get on the channel with wax in their ears. They can't hear that. 7 complete weeks. What they say, Mr. John, we had what, 44 days? So now they're going to do the wave sheaf offering based on the last great day, when it plainly said you shall count on the morrow after the Sabbath. He ain't talking about the high Sabbath. He ain't talking about the first high Sabbath. He ain't talking about the last high Sabbath. The Sabbath in between, your regular 7th-day Sabbath. Go over this with the people year after year after year. I'm telling y'all, this is the same spirit that was with us in the wilderness. This is the same spirit that threw the children of Israel off track in the wilderness. This is the same spirit. This is the same spirit. You would think that those fallen angels, those evil spirits, you would think that they get bored doing the same thing all these 1,000 years. You think they get bored? Nope. Their job is to make sure every generation fails and destroy as many as they can. Why? Because we always make the mistake that thinking they don't know. Funny how the police stop you and make a complete idiot out of you. Stop you, and you scared. You can't even tell a man the truth. He said, do you know why I stopped you? What do most people say? That's what they say. They say, I don't know. No, officer, I don't know. Now, be truthful. Tell them whatever it is you feel. You know why I stopped you? Say something smooth. Because you're stupid? You got nothing better to say? What was it you just said? Because I'm black? Okay. The man asked me. I said something. The man laughed and let me go. He said, you know why I stopped you? I said, no, not really, but I'm damn sure glad you forgot. So he bust out like, you know what? So look, you turned that corner without that turn signal. Put that turn signal on. Just go. Just go. He laughed. And I laughed. Worked for me. Now don't y'all be trying that next week. I don't see nobody on YouTube or nothing. You done. You know why I stopped you? I'm glad you forgot. And your head busted. You be here looking for me to pay the bill. Anyway, Yahweh's people have to follow this. And he shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath. This is Leviticus 23:11. The priest shall wave it. Notice, the priest, not somebody from the congregation, not somebody that don't know, the priest shall wave it. And you shall offer that day when he shall wave the sheaf. We can laugh at that. Was that a billy goat out front or something? Male lady? Yeah, billy goat. Like I said. Anyway. Don't tell her I said that. Anyway. You shall wave the sheaf and he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto Yahweh. So the thing can't be but a year old. First year of its life. Offer this to Yahweh. And the meat offering thereof, maybe said bring some vegetables. Shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. By fire, what the fire mean? Cook it. For a sweet savor, and the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of an hin. I went over these measurements and all of that stuff before, right? I ain't going over it now, but and ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that you have brought an offering unto Yahweh your Elohim. And it should be a statute, listen, forever throughout your generations, in all your dwellings. See how it has to be kept perpetually? It's a covenant between Yahweh and Yisrael, and it's got to be done throughout all of your generations. A statute forever. People get around today and tell you ain't got to do all that. Listen, even the Native Americans, as they were taught by those expeditions and others that King Solomon sent here, that's why the Native Americans were laid out and destroyed the way they were. They were taught, and by the time they let them other people get up off the boat, they took your holy days and subverted it. Now they give you Thanksgiving and all this other stuff and murder you, but it's all supposedly centered around ingathering and harvest time. They stole it from Yahweh's people, and we here spiritually dead, so we don't recognize what's been done to us as a people. So then when somebody tells us the truth, it sounds so funny to us that we can't even comprehend it. On the morrow after the Sabbath. We can't comprehend this. The Gentile, notice Yahweh says here to Yisrael, let's back up. You shall eat neither bread nor parched corn, nor green ear until the selfsame day that you have brought an offering unto Yahweh your Elohim. That last month, that February, March cycle, that time frame, the Native Americans called that the hunger moon. You just saw the new moon the other night, right? That was what they called the hunger moon, because right after tabernacles, right after you gather all this stuff, you gather up so much. Yahweh's people knew how to put their stuff away and preserve it and hold on to it and eat lightly and gently off of it, because now you may go into a cycle where you ain't going to have much to eat, but yet Yahweh's going to sustain you, because now you can't eat none of the new stuff until you first bring it and present it before Yahweh. That is why it's called the Feast of Weeks, because it needed that time to grow. even the grains, even the things that you're going to need that grow out almost like perennials that Yahweh's people had to make in order for their bread to be unleavened. All of that stuff was already starting to develop, starting to germinate, starting to blossom. Look, the snowstorm hit the other day. I don't know if y'all paying attention or not. Some stuff already trying to start blossoming now. It ain't ready yet, but it's your grass. Snow melted the other day. I had this one patch of grass, so I threw down some different color seeds, right? Greenest grass in the history of green grass. Snow melted and everything. Grass just bright as a Hoti's sweater. Ready. Grass just laid there. Yeah, what's up? I'm here. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to grow. Point. Yahweh had certain things in place for the children of Israel, because if we'd have kept it the way we were supposed to keep it, you would see even the earth rejoicing with Yahweh. Even the earth would bring forth everything it was supposed to bring forth in its appointed season, so that you could keep the proper festivals of Yahweh. But today, we ain't even keeping them. We arguing with everybody, debating everything. And when it comes to the world, we listen to Christian gurus about our lives, our love lives, and reproduction, and everything you can think of. All this failed marital advice, and they don't believe the priest of Yahweh know anything. Well, I ain't surprised. I'm telling you now, I am not surprised. Can I go on? And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Shabbat, from the day, verse 15, from the day that you brought the sheep of the wave offering. Listen, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Let's pull this out so everybody get what we did. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. We started that count. The first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread will be at sunset, April 3rd. The last great day, sunset, April 10th. It's over with. Now, hear me well on this. The Shabbat between April the 3rd and April the 10th, that is the day that you start your count. The next morning, the morrow after that Sabbath. Am I making sense? And then all you gotta do is count 7 weeks. It's not hard. If you start counting on a Sunday and you go from Sunday to Shabbat, that's 7 days. You go right back again, 7 more days, that's 14. 7 more is 21, 28, 35, 42. 49th day will be a Sabbath. And guess what? The 50th day is Shabbat. Now, you know why a lot of Hebrews changed the date? Because they said, we ain't supposed to be doing no Sunday worship. We ain't Christian. Just that dumb. So then they moved the date and the calculation. Added a day, 51 or 52 day, so then they make it fall on a Monday or two. They doing the same thing the Jewish community did. Trumpets can't fall on a Thursday. If so, postpone to the following Tuesday. Oh, where you find that rule at in the scripture? And then you sitting up sending the minister the dates that's on the calendar for the Jewish community to keep it. So let me see if I got this straight. Passover comes in, and Yahweh says, this month should be unto you the beginning of months. If that's the beginning of months, that begins your new year. How you get around 7 months later? You talking about, Happy New Year. Mazel tov, or whatever it is they be running around saying and doing. Come on, man. How dumb and ignorant could we be? Say we praying for the Ruach HaKodesh, but then we freeze up on the feast day. Let me see what kind of dates they got. We clearly know Yahweh ain't called you to teach this. Am I making sense? We clearly know Yahweh ain't teach you. If this thing ain't plain, after a while, it gets plain. The way Yahweh even says something to you. I'll show you later on in the book where he tell you about Day of Atonement. He says something real interesting. This was even for your eating. On the 9th day of the month, at even. At the 9th day of the month, at evening, you start prepping for the Day of Atonement. What day is it? What night are you going into? This is real simple, y'all. There you go. The 10th night. Even though he mentions the 9th day, why is 9th day so special? Why didn't he mention the 13th day? He didn't. He mentioned the 14th night, 14th day, 15th night, 15th day. But why did he mention the 9th day? Because it was imperative that you eat before the setting of the sun. You don't want to be eating at sunset because you're messing with the hours in which you are going on your fast. So the 9th day of the month at even, that's going into the 10th night. But again, Got a lot of Hebrews. They can't understand biblical talk, but they can get on there and get in the chat room. Look, be quiet. You ever see Sylvester when he get mad? Shut up. Ain't that what he say? Hate to do that to Yahweh's people, but sometimes you tell people, why don't you be quiet? Go over there and sit down before you hurt yourself. Some of us are just like that. Some of us, you got to put a little helmet on us. That's not to disrespect people, but some of us in Yisrael come into the assembly. You should come in and ask, John, you got any of them helmets in the back? Put one on me, please. Because sometimes we'll hurt ourselves. We'll bump our head thinking we know so much. I know a man years ago, boy, he came in the assembly. El John was going to let him have it, boy. Came in the assembly, fresh out of prison. Come there with his little blue jean pants on. El John called him hot pants. Yeah, come. I remember you first come in and sit down there with your little hot pants on. And I was rolling. El John called the man shorts hot pants. You brothers, come on, let's be real. You go somewhere and sit down with shorts on, and when you sit down, the pants ride up your thigh. El John called him hot pants, like little Daisy Dukes or something. But he let the man know he wasn't pleased with it. And the man thought he was super smart. If you were so smart, rule number one, you shouldn't have been in the penitentiary. And that's not the distance about. Look, man, L. Johnson, as an older man, and you all can talk to Brother Ron, Brother Johnny, and I guess if I'm old enough, you can throw me in it. But ask older men how they feel when you're talking to younger men that you know you can't teach. But Mike back there, both the mics. Look, boy, y'all almost got away, but I was teaching y'all like y'all was teenagers. Now y'all old men like us. But ask the older men. To be honest, quick survey. How you feel talking to this young generation when you know they ain't gonna hear nothing you saying? How I feel? Not good. Real frustrating, ain't it? So imagine teaching, being prepared, being called to do what you do, and Yahweh bless you in a way where you do it well. Here when somebody don't know what you're doing. I just think you need to do. See, you can't Sylvester Stallone your way out of this. Y'all know Rocky. Name one line in the movie he said that you understood. You really didn't. Funny, everybody remember that. Right? See, people can't talk. You remember them for their inability, right? Remember the Running Man? What Arnold Schwarzenegger say? Not Running Man, Predator. What'd he say? Get to the chopper. Everybody died, right? See, people can't talk. You remember that. So Yahweh said that he wanted messengers that could stand and speak to the people. Then he called Moshe, speak unto the children of Yisrael. Moses tried to get out of it. Moses said, look, Yahweh, I'll go to the chopper because I can't speak. Remember that? He tried. Yahweh said, who made man's mouth? He was getting ready to touch him and heal him. So who made man? All right, I'll fix you, smart aleck. Okay, I'll tell you what to do. Get your brother Aaron. Get him over here. Right? Thus the priesthood was born. Say, I'll speak directly to you. You speak directly to him. I'll be the mouth to you. He'll be the mouth for you. You get that? That's how Yahweh did it. Come on, man. Our brothers today can't count, but want to tell you when the feast days are. People don't know why the Enochian calendar is not in use. Yahweh didn't set the calendar by the sun. The sun regulated the hours. The moon was regulated for the signs and for seasons and set the months and all those things. But see, when you really don't know Yahweh's word like that, you get so sidetracked, you so off. Just admit it. You didn't read the instruction manual. That's all. Just admit it. I admit it. Come on, man, I told y'all store a bookcase 1,000 times. Put a little bookcase together, man. So put that little hand on the little bookcase. Yeah, we're going to win, man. So you mean tell me all these extra parts wasn't really extra parts? So they really do have to go in here. So you start putting them back in places. Wow, I missed this whole screw. But now you go to touch the bookcase, be like, yeah, I'm tough. I ain't going nowhere. Still got the bookcase. Point. Gotta read the instruction manual. Okay? You just gotta read the instruction manual. Yeah, how many of y'all got cars and things fairly new, fairly do stuff you don't even know it do? Because you ain't read the manual. How many of y'all? Look at it. I seen that real quick. I was over half the temple. So y'all got them nice looking cars. You don't know what the okay. Y'all found out something about mine. I didn't know my truck was 8-speed. I didn't know that. 8-speed. What is this? Yeah, it's an 8-speed. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. See, little gear shift. 8-speed. You get down there, you go and drive. You know how when you put the car in drive, you drop down to 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, it's 8-cylinder, but it's also 8-speed. And I found out in the snow the other day because I went through all of the speeds. I was like, oh, I didn't know what to do all this. It kick it in real strong, hard gear. And then it can be used when it's in 4-wheel drive low. But then when you put it in low, it give it extra power just in case you saw enough stuff in the snow. So I could figure out what it do. But I didn't know all them stuff was there. I gotta be honest. I needed to do 2 things. Take me there, bring me back. All that extra stuff, okay, fine. We thank y'all for the heat, little stuff like that, the air conditioner, cruise control, little stuff like that. But then when you got all them other amenities, you don't know. Well, Yisrael, you're blessed the same way. Remember last week I told you, Yahweh's feast days are so well connected to nature that in keeping the feast days, it's a power and a strength upon you that even as you walk past and you walk through your own grain and your cornfield, that power of Yahweh just pulls on the earth and the vegetation and the plant life says, wait a minute, here come that Hebrew, y'all, straighten up. And the grapes straighten up and pull themselves up out the earth even more because Yahweh make the earth and the nature of the universe stand to Baruch his people. But we don't believe that. You know why? Because in our minds, we tell ourselves every day, I'm a good Hebrew. I'm the perfect one. I know what I'm talking about. I know his feast days ain't right. Please check your dates again. I'm like, remind me of R. Kelly. Remember R. Kelly with the Christmas record? Check your mail. Nah, you all will figure that one out later. But anyway, people think that you don't know because what you're showing them don't line up with what the people who don't know are telling you. And that's what we be trying to go with. I'm looking at all of these different feast days, the dates and the calendars, and I'm watching one pattern from 1993 to 2026. Pattern. It always fluctuates somewhere back and forth between March and April. The Feast of Yahweh always fluctuates somewhere back between September and October. But if you start in April, you're going to end somewhere near close to October. It may even draw back to the latter part of October. But just for sake of ending up in the month September, which means 7 in Latin, you done threw all the people off because the calendar done been through 3 global historical changes. The Babylonian, then they did the Julian, then the Caesarian, then the Julian, which is what we operating from now. They done changed it over a 1,500 year span of time. Keep shifting that calendar. So let me make sure I got it right. You got the Babylonian, then you went to the Gregorian, then you went to the Julian, which is the Caesarian, which is what you're operating from right now. Why would the Jews keep on operating off of that if they all ain't involved in something deeper? But Polo Yisrael, they never say this. They never say anything. They never go back and find them scriptures where David and others were watching for the new moon service. And in order to keep it, they had to do one thing. What was that? They had to cite it. They had to spot it. So if you talking about it's a new moon and you go to the white man's calendar, National Reconnaissance Office, hint, hint, go to them and look at their satellite. They tell you this night it will be invisible. I use the example of the Cadillac. Let me go to the dealer and say I'm going to buy a Cadillac, and I plop the money down on it, but the one I want ain't there yet because it hasn't come in. I can go home all day and tell y'all that empty space. Yeah, that's my Cadillac out there. So what Cadillac? I don't see nothing. Oh, well, it ain't come in yet. I'll get it tomorrow. So then you're not looking at no new car in an empty space out there. There's nothing there. It has not appeared. If it didn't appear, how can it start the month? So then Yisrael, they be all following these people out here. And I keep saying it. Now, there's something about the calendar y'all must understand. All of them do the same thing. You go home tonight, look at the calendar you got in the house. See if it don't have a big white empty circle, a half a circle, a full black circle, and they have a half a circle going the other way. Then they'll have a full empty circle again. The full empty circle, what do they call that? New moon. That's what they call it, the new moon. But yet it has zero visibility. How can it be new? But I can't tell nobody nothing. You know, I only learned this from the elders, from the old men. When they would get together and have calls, they didn't have all that texting and WhatsApp back in the 70s. You get on the phone. You dial 7 digits. Remember back then phone numbers were 7 digits. If you were calling out of state, then you added 3 digits and made it 10. Remember them days? Huh? Yeah, that's right. And the 1. You had to add the 1 because it was now long distance call. See, the young people in here, they don't know about that. Do y'all? Huh? This was even before them, if I ain't mistaken. Because back then, it used to be Ma Bell. Remember that? Ma Bell. And Ma Bell was hooked into who? CMP. Chesapeake and Potomac. See, Bell Atlantic eased in later on as they start upgrading because they divided it. Let me tell a quick story. This is what happened. What I say, the main company was Ma Bell. Ma Bell was AT&T, later became AT&T. But what it was so big, it was so huge, the government did the same thing, and it was Rockefeller. He did the same thing to them that they did to Standard Oil. Standard Oil was so big, nobody else could sell oil or make any money. So the government said, nah, we don't want no monopoly. If somebody else can raise the funds and get money and go in business and they can do this and do that, you got to relinquish some of this space. So what Rockefeller did was real smooth. He went and got a whole bunch of family and friends and other people and signed them to these contracts and non-disclosure agreements. He still owned it all. The government split it up into 100 pieces in 1911, made them bust down Standard Oil, split it up to 100 pieces. One little company was named out there called Exxon. Another company's out there named Mobil. Another company out there named Esso. Another company out here named this, that, and other, blah, 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 blah. Okay, in the 100-year span of time, this company would fall bankrupt and go under and get bought up by that company. This company would get that one. That one would buy that one. All of the companies in a 100-year span of time were slowly but surely pulling themselves back together. And it was all Rockefeller. He taught his children, within 100 years, put my company back like I had it. So finally, the whole company, Standard Oil, came back together in, 2001? When Exxon and Mobil merged. Then finally, it was Standard Oil back together again. And AT&T did the same damn thing, okay? It was all Rockefeller. Same thing with the companies that stole the airlines and slammed them into the World Trade Center. Go back and check and see what family owned those airlines. It was all Rockefeller people. So I want y'all to understand a few things. The devil runs the same game all the time, over and over. He don't change the tricks. The problem is us. We don't ever see what the devil be doing. Just like right now with the feast day, he confuses everybody by telling them, well, black man don't know what he's doing. He don't know nothing. But I don't own no satellites. And I don't tell everybody which satellite I'm looking at or what I'm using. Had a friend of mine. Check this out. We grew up together. Sandbox buddy. He went and got a big time, big time government job. But we always stayed in touch. And he said, man, that stuff you was doing about the feast day and different things, man, when you get a chance, go to this website. And he told me, he said, outside of the Vatican, they got the strongest satellite system in the world. They get a new moon, the dates, the precise time, and all this stuff, because they look at this stuff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so that's the system we be using. That's how I caught them and understood, well, damn, they be telling all of the people that this is the new moon, or it's this, that, and that. And this is why a lot of times, even in Israel, some people be calling, asking, did y'all sight it? Did you see it? A lot of times they be a day early because they going off of what's on the calendar. All of them satellites, the devil got them all locked in place where they all agree. Tell the people that it starts tonight. And that's what throws everybody off. You're not getting a complete month. You're getting 28, 29 days. Stuff happens on the calendar and it moves in such a mysterious way where certain things never happen again for sometimes 200 and 300 years. Like this month that you're living in now, February, exactly as February is structured on the calendar, it will never fall like this again for another 318 years. Now, I want to see who's going to be around to see that. Anything strange about February to y'all this year? Anybody notice anything? That ain't strange. Plus, this year is 28 days. Anybody notice anything about February that you want to speak about? Yeah, leap year is 29 days. So February has 4 Sundays, 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, 4 Wednesdays, 4 Thursdays, 4 Fridays, and 4 Sabbaths. If you count and watch and or calculate, it will never fall like that again for another 318 years. You got to tabulate your 4 years, 29 days, and all that. You got to be paying attention. So if we're going to run off the Enochian calendar, which has 364 days, and you counting and keeping track like that, then every 25 years, going off of the solar calendar, you're going to pull the Passover back into February in the winter. But somebody said you must operate. Show it to me in the scripture. Show it to me where they operate. Where any prophet said we're going to use Enoch calendar. We're not disputing Enoch and the validity of the works of Enoch. What we're saying is that the wisdom of Yahweh gave unto him was so wise, he let him see into the treasures of the snow and the hail and all those things. Remember, he asked Job about it. Job couldn't speak on it. But Enoch, he let him see it. So then Enoch told you all of the different things, even how Yahweh, when he comes, he's coming with 10,000s of his saints. They're not coming back to just play with the world. They coming back and they coming with the high praise of Yahweh in their mouth and a 2-edged sword in their hand. What they come back with the sword for? You think they want to eat bread and butter? Throw me that parquet over here, Joshua. Oh, man, yeah, sure, Moses, there you go. Everything's better with blue bonnet on it. That ain't the way it's working. Sorry about that, y'all. But anyway, that's how we see the world. Because they have thought to change the times and the laws. And I didn't know so many people was in agreement with them like that till they really start going at us on the channel, telling us how wrong we were. All you got to do is count. Go to Leviticus and look at what you're supposed to do. And you start telling people, you don't know how to define things. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath. Listen, even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath. If you got 7 Sabbaths, how many days is that? 49. So now he says, until the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days, right? So if 7 Sabbaths equals 49 days, then that Sunday is what? That's Shavuot. It always falls on the first day of the week. The poor minister, he changed it, told the people, we're not supposed to be worshiping the sun. You weren't worshiping the sun, dear brother. The sun come up every day. What are you talking about? Because they named one day Sunday. If that's the case, today is named Saturday. Are you worshiping Saturn because you keep the Shabbat? Which simply means everything the heathens do, you can't give credence to it. Some stuff you got to know that's the heathens thing. We're ignoring that. This was established by Yahweh. We're not ignoring that. The real thing is the days of the week. Come on, man. We're not worried about Friday, Thursday, Tuesday. All those days are named after pagan gods. We still know the numbers of the days, right? We still know the numbers of the days of the week. So we know Friday is the 6th day. We know Friday night is the 7th night. We know today is the 7th day. Now, sunset tonight, ain't that the 8th night? No, it ain't. Got y'all. There you go. Tonight at sunset is the first night of the week. That's why I said it that way. I just tell y'all fell right in line too, boy. Now, I'm not going to rebuke y'all because this is what happens. That speaks volumes to the depth of how deep satanic culture is embedded within us, right? It's supposed to be second nature. If last night was the 6th night of the week, last night was the 7th night. Today is the 7th day. So tonight is the 8th night, right? Y'all still saying, yeah, got you again. I'm winning. Are y'all seeing this? They over there talking about, yeah. It's the first night. I'm gonna remind y'all before you go out the door, I'm gonna be standing right at the door today. Everybody go out and remember when it get dark tonight, this is the first night of the week. Because tomorrow will be what? The 8th day of the week, right? Y'all catching on now, ain't you? Now I wonder how many people at home saying, yeah. I know. I have to teach it this way so that we learn and understand Yahweh's timing. That's what we as Israel got to learn. We got to understand Yahweh's time. It does not matter that we wear watches and things like that. That's fine. You know, they tell us to cry out, the women to get up and cry out for your children. Make prayer and intercession for your children. It says cry out in the night watches. I wonder how many people, like how many, this is private, but anyway, dear Hoti, sometimes you have to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, right? And you know anything about the time, you'll know what watches you got up in. And in those night watches, periodically before you go back to sleep, pray a little bit. You get it? That's why a lot of that stuff falls into place like that. A lot of people just don't know. Why you think a lot of people that die in their sleep die between 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning? Because that's that watch hour. That's that hour when your body is at its deepest sleep. It's at its deepest. You're at your weakest moment. And more often than not, people pass like that. You hear what I'm saying? Remember when Brother Lonnie Horton passed away? I woke up that morning at 3:58, and he was on my mind. And I said, I'm going to call later. And when I called, his sister said, oh, he passed away today at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. when your body is at its weakest. A lot of people don't know that. Y'all would take it and see it's what they call in this society, because the devil did things at 3. It's the devil's hour. 3 a.m., 3 p.m. It's the devil's hour because he got that numbers thing. Yes, sir. At its thinnest. They did say that. They sure did, because the remote viewers from the CIA even said that they would get into people's heads and dreams the most at that time. That's why Yisrael got to learn to pray for themselves. See, all of this thinking we know stuff and challenging the elders and going at the ministers. Sometimes that stuff, man, we so overboard with it. We get to the point where we think we can talk to them like any kind of way, but you don't do that to them judges. You don't do that to them police. You don't do that to the doctors. You don't need, truth be told, well, they do it to the school teachers. School teacher gets you up there, have a parent-teacher conference, and say, listen, we got some bad news here. Your little boy, he's dumb. You know, he just so dumb. We're gonna let him go. We don't even bring him back. He's just so dumb. My baby ain't dumb. My baby's a scholar. He's roadkill. I mean, he's a road scholar. I mean, not roadkill. You argue with them. 40 years later, that big old dumb thing, he's still in the basement. He on his what? 3rd version of Xbox. He got a new Xbox. He got Xbox 970. He just wait a minute, still. What's the higher Xbox go? 360? Well, now all of a sudden everybody don't nobody know. All right, I hear y'all. Anyway, it was that. What is it? 360? Thank you. I hope this. Yeah, it's 360. Oh, y'all, brothers, y'all gamers, put y'all hands out. Who are here gamers? Put them hands out. Oh, y'all gamers. Okay. What does mean? Fred Sanford me? What that mean? Okay, it used to be. All right, that count. You did it. And you did it. see, when I did it, they ain't had them in the house. They was out. Pac-Man and all this other stuff. Right? You didn't take them home. Anyway, Yahweh's people have to really come to know. We've gone so far from him that when he give us simple instructions in the word, we miss it. Watch this third step, right? We on the third step. He says, even tomorrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days, and you shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahweh. Again, meat, a new meat offering. This is step number 3, y'all. Right here, verse 15 and 16. This is step 3 in Yahweh's feast days. You shall bring out of your habitations two wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto Yahweh. Remember, we had the feast days that time. The brother came in here that day. He come in the door finding fault. He worshiped with us. He didn't know. He come out the Christian world. I don't see first fruits on here. We all had the feast day. Everybody was up front. When he said it, we all just stood there and looked at him. I said, well, last time I checked this on there. Well, see, because he looking for first fruits to be listed on the calendar. He didn't even know what it was. He didn't understand we used the Hebrew word shavut. So we kind of like left him hanging because I was thinking to myself, see, I'm going to be bold with this. I don't care. I'm going to say what needs to be said. See, a lot of times what people don't realize is you can really feel their spirit. You can discern people's spirit. Their very presence sometimes commands a thing in such a way where you realize, okay, something about this ain't right. Something going on and this ain't right. And you might not pick it up right then, but the hair on the back of your neck stand up, or your hair on your arm, or something, you get that funny feeling, whatever it is. Sometimes you get the headache. It's different things where Yahweh is sending you a personal signal on something. And you really do have to be praying and discerning for the spirit to be high enough upon you to open up to it, to see it, to feel it, to understand it, as well as to know how to sidestep it. See, when Nehemiah was repairing the temple of Yahweh, the poor little people, they had no place to worship. And the man was down there laying brick and doing things, putting together. And he had to be watching. They was around trying to discourage him. They're coming to get you. You got to get off the wall. Come on, go in the sanctuary. He said, when the man said certain things to him, he said, ah. He said, then I perceived that Yahweh had not sent him. Same way with their text. Same thing with the messages online, where they was talking to us and going at us. I perceived straight out the gate, ha, got you. You don't know how to count. You can't keep Yahweh's feast days without the Jewish community telling you when it comes. Because you don't know the moon. You don't know the shapes. You don't know the dimensions of it. And I taught it years ago. We had a meeting here at the Assembly of Yahweh, a men's meeting, and we all were in that men's study. And I laid that calendar out to show the moon phases with my little scribbly handwriting, the cycles of the moon. And if I'm not mistaken, to this date, it's still in there on their calendar. Is it or is it not? So anybody can look and see the size and the shapes of the moon. You don't get it overnight. You learn, you start mastering, you start studying it. It'll take a while. Yeah, it was cold that night. I remember it well because the heat went down in here. Am I correct? The heat was off. And we had one little person, right? It ain't bother him. One little person took his shoes and socks off. He running around in the sanctuary that night, enjoying his little life as a child. Remember that? And I was like, man, he tough little boy, man. Took his shoes. That ain't bothering him. Coming up like I did. Hey. Say specialty reigns, right? Now, John was special. I got, man, my father had to get a hold of me every week. Every week. I admit it. I wasn't the easiest cake in the drawer, you know. I wasn't the easiest cake in the pan, you know. So, hey, man, coming up in this way of life, stay in Yahweh's way. Stay in this way of life. That's the blessing for Yahweh's people, for the children. Stay in it. Don't be discouraged because the way looks different to the world. So what? The world backward, if you really think about it. You got to be crazy as all outdoor. You go spend all your money buying toys for somebody. They're going to break them up the next day. Man, I could have paid the rent. Well, that's next month's car payment or something. Could have put some more food in. Look, I'd rather buy you food than to buy you the toys. I know you're going to break the toys up, but now you can't eat the toy. You eat the food up, you can go poop the food out. Okay, but at least you ate. Then people wonder why men go to jail the first month of the year in record-breaking numbers. You know why? Because he mad. All them damn toys, he done spent all that money on Christmas, and then his toys ain't even make it into New Year. He flip out. Next thing you know, domestic violence charge. He in jail, January. Go check the stats. And you shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish. Now, how the vegetarian gonna keep this feast? 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, 1 young bullock and 2 rams. How the vegans gonna keep this? They gonna put some lamb on a stick. Yeah. Who was that? Somebody had that stuff one time. Didn't somebody bring that stuff? He had that little chicken, little stuff on a stick, little fat toothpicks. I said, what the hell is this? So say it again. I don't want to talk about that. One bad as the other one pulled the meat out of his pocket. We was at the assembly one time, bro, had meat in his suit pocket in a baggy sandwich bag. Pulled that, Yeah, Ziploc, had it in a Ziploc bag. I'm sitting there eating. He at the head of the table, which meant I was to his right because he was to my left. He whipped that barbecue loaf up. Barbecue loaf was done. I'm thinking, all the women cooked the food and had the stuff prepared. Their stuff was on the table. How come your meat's so special? It's got to be in your suit pocket. I'm like, nah, he pulled out like he had a pack of double men or something, Barbecue loaf was done. And I'm looking. I hope my face didn't tell on me, but if you're watching, he'll know what I'm talking about. But at any rate, I'm like, nah, brother, I'm all right. We as Yisrael, we do some crazy stuff. I've been around long enough to see Israel get sidetracked on things. The lunar Sabbath, it came and it went. The changing of the name of Yahweh went from Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahoo, Yahuwah. Now, one brother I was looking at online, YAHOOWEH. I'm like, he interneting it up. Yeah, Yahuwah. I'm like, see, there you go. Half black, half white, but he real light. So I had to, me, I'm nosy. I went on his page. I had to look him up and look at him. I'm like, this brother Caucasian, man. See, we listen to anybody. But when y'all would raise up your own brother and they tell you stuff, this is the number 1 rule for being a Hebrew. Tell me if I'm wrong. We have been lied to for so long that when we do actually hear the truth, it sounds funny to us. Now, don't it? It sounds so funny. You tell people, well, his name is not Lord. His name is not God. His name is Yahweh. What is that? Yahweh. And in Baltimore, I was known as, they come that Yahweh man. He come that Yahweh stuff. See, I would get offended. That's the equivalent of talking about your mother. Come on, brothers, real quick. How many brothers been in the fight because somebody talked about your mother as a child? Tell the truth. Put your hands up. Yeah, the brothers, of course. Well, all right, now, slide this in. It's commercial for the sisters. Defend the sisters with that same fervor we defend mama, okay? All right, is that fair? Defend the sisters, young and old, with the same fervor we defend mama. Because each sister is either some mama's daughter or she's some child's mama, right? If we do that, we get along a little better, right? Remember, back in my day, when we talking about my mother and you had to fight them. You can talk about my father, but don't talk about my mother. Well, I was one of them children where my parents was just off limits, period. My parents was off both of them. Don't be talking, I'm going to fight. My mother say, you fighting him because he said I'm fat? What's that to fight about? Yeah, I admit it, I am fat. What's that? I'm thinking to myself, now whose side you on? She could face the reality too. But at any rate, Yisrael, we've been so sidetracked with the culture of the world. We, a lot of time, even when we're home reading the Bible and building deep study, we get so fanatical with it. The way Yahweh's word works, it's just so smooth. Yahweh's word is like the wind. If you ever stand outside on a windy day, you can't do nothing with that wind. It's blowing, and it's just blowing just as smooth and free, and just as hard as it blows, it can stop. But it's air, and it's still there. So when we learn to relax in Yahweh's word, it's the same. Then and only then are you really living. Man, when you start learning how Yahweh give you command, how to heal the body and different things now, because now you start learning stuff you got to put in when things in the body start messing with you or things start acting up or become alien. Don't forget, oldest person in the room real quick. Who oldest person there? All right, now I'm not a gambler, but I've got dollars. So you ain't the oldest. But all right, what's your age? 71. Anybody beat that? Uh-huh. 4 people. 4 people beat that. Almost look like spades or something. Didn't you see that? I was like, anybody beat that? 4 hands went up at the same time. We can put you with the teenagers now. All right? You like that, right? All right, but my point. Yeah, that's what we got. 4 and impossible. What was my point? I was saying about the age. My point about the thank you, brother Val. How old are you, man? Anyway, here's my point. Keep in mind that those are 71-year-old kidneys. That's a 71-year-old heart. It ain't like your car when the water pump go up, you go get a new water pump put on it. Those body things. So Yahweh blessed you in such a way where not only will what you pull out of the earth properly heal that body, but now your prayer will speak to those parts of the body so that it restores itself, or gives proper restoration until it is literally time for you to expire, as opposed to dying prematurely. Am I making sense? See, when Yisrael starts drawing on that power like that, that's now knowledge you can't brag on. That's just knowledge that's internalized because of the Torah. You don't get bragging rights on it. You just get to use it, if that makes sense, right? See, people, for example, let's do this. Let's go to Psalm 131. I'm going to show you something. People who attack us because of the feast days and the dates that we had in place, they don't trust Yahweh like they should, because you need childlike faith. As parents, how many times have you fed your children and they just so thankful for what little you gave them? Because they trust their mother going to have breakfast ready and have food and everything in place, right? Why can't you have that kind of faith and trust in Yahweh, as opposed to, I know I'm smart, I know I'm wise, I know I got it down pat? Watch this, Psalm 131. Listen to this. Yahweh, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty, neither do I exercise myself in great matters, or in things too high for me. See, when you try and tell a minister how to count the feast day, how to calculate, how to tabulate stuff, when he has to take into consideration 12 new moons, when he's got to take into consideration 30 days of every month, 12 times out of the year, and he's got to be counting that thing with precision. How do you earn the right to jump in his face and tell him, you check it again and look at this date and that date and then get the rest of it and work your way down? To me, that was smart talking me. But let's go back in the word. I'm going to show you something. Smart talk this. Let's go back to let's see. Let's go back to Leviticus. We don't know sometimes. We swear out we got it. Before I go to Leviticus, wait a minute, let's go to Numbers. Do this real quick. Go here. Numbers chapter 32. Look at this, Numbers 32. Numbers 32. Watch this. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of cattle. And when they saw the land of Jazeer and the land of Gilead, that, behold, the place was a place for cattle. The children of God and the children of Reuben, we say the way they said to God, came and spoke unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and to the princes of the congregation, saying, Antaroth, Dibon, Yazar, Nimrah, Heshbon, Eliah, Shabam, and Nebo, and Boan. Even the country which Yahweh smote before the congregation of Israel is a land for cattle, and thy servants have cattle. For which cause they said, if we have found mercy in thy sight, let this land be given unto thy servants for possession, and bring us not over the Jordan. Look, notice, somebody got to break out and be different. Let us take this land here since it's good for the cattle, and we don't want to go over to the Jordan. Give us this land. And Moses said unto the children of God and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war, and you sit here? For which cause discourage ye the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which Yahweh have given them. In other words, so you think they're going to go and fight for the land to go in there and get in it while you stay here just so your cattle can eat free and fresh, and you don't have to go up and defend the whole nation along with the rest of the nation? Watch it. Thus did your fathers when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up into the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel that they should not go into the land which Yahweh had given them. See how Israel always does it? Stood right up and say, nah, we don't want to go there. Let us do this way and let us do that. We're not for that. And Yahweh's anger was kindled that same time, and he swore, saying, surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upwards shall see the land which I swear unto Abraham, to Yitzhak, and unto Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Joshua the son of Nun, for they have wholly followed Yahweh. See how they didn't cause no problem? See how they didn't cause no division? And Yahweh's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of Yahweh was consumed. See how it goes sometimes? We get in trouble because we be following people who think they smarter than what they actually are. And that's why the people of Yahweh get in trouble repeatedly, time after time after time. So we just, as a nation, got to keep going, got to keep doing things, got to keep rebelling, got to tell you, you following them damn Jews, and they keeping Yahweh's feast days on a 6-month cycle, and y'all think they right, and the poor little shepherds of Yahweh scattered wherever they are, telling you how to do it, counting it out, teaching it to you, and you think you better than them. That's not the way Yahweh lets the thing work itself out. So we can't be told anything. And when we can't be told anything, a lot of times we miss it. Let's go back. Let's go to Numbers chapter 18 real quick. I'm going to show you something else. Yahweh's people got to learn this. When these feast days come up, this is not something to be played with. This is something that has to really be understood. And Yahweh said, Numbers 18, unto Aaron, you and your sons and your father's house with you shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary, and your sons' sons with thee shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood, and thy brethren also of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of thy father, bring thou with thee, that they may be joined with thee in the minister unto thee. But thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness. They have a job to do. They shall keep the charge and the charge of the tabernacle, only that they shall not come nigh the vessels of the sanctuary and of the altar, that neither they nor ye also die. Notice, the priesthood's job picked up where the Levites' job left off. The Levites weren't in charge. They were the deacons, as you would call them. They served at a specific capacity, and they had to be in charge of that. How did the general congregation anywhere at any given time get charged with just barking out orders, telling the priest to check your dates again, do this, do that? See, that's some R. Kelly stuff. Remember R. Kelly with that record? Did you get my call? Did you get my love letter? Text me back, write me back, check your mail. See where R. Kelly at? We got to be careful, man. We talk too much as a nation. You talk to the priesthood like they little boys. I'm telling you straight out the gate, I ain't having it. No, I ain't having it. Jewish community, keep it and do whatever they want to do. Young black brother on the video, right on YouTube, running up. See, we love to film and be in front of the camera. Young dude, you're not even the real people. You're not this, you're not that. He's steady arguing with the Jew while steady pulling his pants up, holding his pants in his hand. And the Jewish dude had the most profound response. He said, okay, so what? So what we're not the real people? So what? If you're the real people, why don't you keep it? Keep the Torah. Why don't you keep it? If you're the real people, why don't you keep it? Bust them down. So my point, stop arguing with them. We have never needed them to count the feast days of Yahweh. We have never needed them. We've never needed Elder Myers and their crew. We've never needed the people in Missouri and Roseport and all that. We've always been kind to them and things of that nature and supported some of the work that they've done. Now, let's be clear. They ain't supporting nothing we doing, because there's a pattern with white folk, and I'm going to pull this point out. White folk don't take too kindly to you banging off on other white folk. They can know that they're wrong, but they really don't take too kindly to that. Every now and then, white folk will stand up for the truth. And you got plenty that do stand up for the truth. But as a whole, they can't do everything that you would think that they do. You heard the latest? You see what white folks saying about Michael Jackson now? They keep saying he built Neverland to protect the children from going to that land. Never go to that Epstein Island. What did they do? Flip the script, set it up, made it look like he was molesting the children, and you let the molesters go all them damn years. And now the thing's so out of hand, ain't damn near everybody's name in the file. I look up tomorrow, my neighbor probably be in the file. Little man around the corner, the janitor at Walmart, he probably in the file. What did the woman say? Well, if we prosecute any and everybody that's in the file, the whole system will collapse. Well, then, damn it, so be it. We all get free. Had hunting parties. You hear that part about it? Had hunting party, hunt black people down. Then black folk complaining because wasn't no black people allowed on Epstein Island. Y'all was saved your black ass. Mad. We mad because we ain't involved in being molested. I ain't never heard such foolishness. Get me, Mr. White Man. You can't talk about this stuff unless you put it in plain and simple English where everybody understand it. You mad because Jeffrey Epstein didn't want your black booty. I mean, how am I supposed to say that? Sound vulgar, don't it? But it's vulgar because you mad that the man ain't want you. Be happy. I was out Security Mall the other day. Security Mall got this centerpiece in it or whatever, where it's at the crossroads, and you can go up 3 little steps. It's a big platform. You go down 3 little steps. So I'm coming through the mall the other day, right? Faggy out there. Is that politically correct word? What do you say for him now? Blisters? Whatever the word is. Anyway, he see me, right? He get happy. I ain't paying no attention at first. But when it caught my attention, sure enough, I was like a pit bull. I was like, man, don't make me bust your face in this mall. I was thinking it, right? But I was wording it. When the man read my behavior, he went from this to straight right up. I mean, it angered me. I mean, look, men in the building right now, look at me. Look in my face, brothers, in my face. What do you see in my face that make me so appealing to you? I'm a man, beard, hair all over my face. Ain't got no. Why would I be attractive to you? You look at me and say, that's my brother. You know, ooh, I want to get with Ella John. Hey, better not be nobody here like that. Just saying. I know it ain't, but just saying, right? We don't live like that. See, they got people so scared, you scared to even speak against that. Come on, man. People scared to speak against that. No, man, come on. So we mad because we wasn't on Epstein Island. So Epstein supposedly hung himself. Yeah, I think that's what I said. Supposedly hung himself, right? Cameras wasn't working. All the guard at lunch. Everybody, how all the guards go at lunch at the same time? But anyway, because he did that, you gonna do yourself? I ain't never been sad and depressed over no bills a day in my life. I have never been depressed because I couldn't pay some white folk. In fact, the white folk don't even call me about any kind of bill. Because they know I'm probably in their database. Don't call him. Because he will have some fun with you. And call me, tell me some, well, when can we expect him? You can expect it anytime you want to expect it. Hold on and keep expecting for 9 months. Something will come out. Man, please. We get all sad because we can't pay them. You structure society so we can't pay you. Yahweh said all bills and all that stuff after 7 years, you kill them bills, you kill them debts, right? Kill all small debts at the 50 years, you transfer everything back around so everybody get a chance at it, right? Now these devils talking about stretching mortgages out for 50 years now. So you got to start buying your house at 12. Then you pay it off in your 50th year. You're old enough now to lay back and enjoy it a little bit. Only problem now, you're going to die. Yeah, and then you got to pay taxes on it. And we get sad about their system. Same way we all out there fighting ICE and all this other stuff. How you fighting ICE? You've been iced out since you've been in the country. We are terrible as a people. Feast days of Yahweh, can't keep them, can't calculate it, can't rejoice in it, can't take delight in the word, can't be happy unless we doing what they say. Come here, Mr. Master. How are we supposed to keep this? I know it says say shalom, but I don't know. I ain't too happy saying shalom. I need to mix it up. How about shalom? Shalom-a-wam. Shalom-a-dam-a-ding-dong. Hey, just dumb stuff. Anything we can do to change something. That's us. You can tell it with the children of Israel. It's a cultural thing, y'all. I imagine the children of Israel probably couldn't even come up out of Egypt because somebody was in the back with a boom box. Somebody else in the back breakdancing. And you had to have at least 2 sisters up on a chariot somewhere. What was they doing? Twerking. Probably was Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. See, we just, like Yahweh asked, when will it once be? We don't want to. We don't want to get right. Don't even understand the role right now in prophecy. Well, Yahweh told the children of Israel what they had to do. And the priesthood had to deal with Yahweh's word and deal with it in a way where they came out. Watch this. Numbers 33. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land with their armies under the hand of Moshe and Aaron. And Moshe wrote their goings out according to the journeys by the commandment of Yahweh. And these are the journeyings according to their goings out. And they departed from Ramses in the 1st month, on the 15th day of the 1st month, on the morrow after the Passover. The children of Israel went out with a high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. They left out of there with a high hand, right? Whose hand was it? Let's go back, show you something again real quick. Then I'm going to go back to Leviticus and finish this up. Let's go back to Numbers chapter 1. Let's might as well clear this up right now. Some people don't know their role, then they'll get in your way and stop you from doing your role. Now, let's go to Leviticus chapter 1. I'm going to show you something. Numbers chapter 1. Watch this. All right. These were verses real quick. Numbers chapter 1. I'm not going to read all these verses. I'm going to give you the verses. Chapter 1, verse 19. Yahweh commanded Moshe, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. And the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations. 22. Of the children of Simeon, by their generations, right? 24. Of the children of God, by their generations, after their families, the house of their fathers, right? 26. Of the children of Yahudah, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names. 28. Of the children of Issachar, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of their names. What's my point in doing this? So many times as Yisrael, we want to be seen, we want to be known, we want to be recognized. Okay, Yahweh knows and recognizes every one of us. You are all important to him. You hear me? You're all important. What does the verse say again? Zebulun, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upwards, all that were able to go to war. He kept a direct track. Let's go down a little bit. Verse 44. These are those that were numbered, which Moshe and Aaron counted or numbered, of the princes of Israel being 12 men. Each one was for the house of his fathers. So were all those that were counted of the children of Israel by the house of their fathers, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go to war in Israel. Even all that were numbered were 600,000, 3,000, and 550. So that's 600,000, 3,000, 550 men counted, your houses reckoned, your lineage reckoned, everything in place. Now the rule changes. But the Levites, after the tribe of their fathers, were not numbered among them. For Yahweh had spoken unto Moshe, saying, only thou shalt not count the number of the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them from among the children. But thou shalt appoint the Levite over the tabernacle of testimony, over all the vessels of it, over all the things that belong to it. And they shall bear the tabernacle and all the vessels of it. They shall minister unto it, and shall encamp round about the tabernacle. And when the tabernacle setteth forth, the Levites shall take it down. When the tabernacle is pitched, the Levites shall set it up. And the stranger that cometh nigh, what happens? I noticed even in here, when we moved in this assembly, and in every assembly that I can think of, every time we moved from one building to another, we never had no general help. It was always the priesthood. We moved off of Bel Air Road. We came to this building in 2013. We came in a hurry, in a haste, because we had to paint, we had to prep this place and get ready to keep the Passover. All them people online got all that mouth, all that stuff you was taught. Where were your hands that night? Where were your hands then? You couldn't, even according to this. Men of the priesthood had to conduct it. Now, when it comes to counting and calculating the feast day, we so wrong, but you home, quote unquote, sitting on your ass, looking to find a fault. There's your fault. Did you find that one? When the tabernacle set forward, the Levites shall take it down. When the tabernacle is to be pitched, the Levites shall set it up, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. And the children of Israel shall pitch their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard throughout their hosts. But the Levites shall pitch round about the tabernacle of the testimony, that there be no wrath upon the congregation of the children of Israel. For the Levites shall keep the charge of the tabernacle of testimony. Now, we try to keep it. We strive to do it. We got everybody telling us how to do it. Next year, who knows what might happen. Let's see what date y'all got. I'll tell you what you do. At the end of 2026, in January, send us your dates first. We'll throw them all in a hat. See what you come up with. Because, see, sometimes y'all's people get so out of hand, you got to rebuke them. You got to check them. You got to chastise them. Everybody think they know. Everybody, we never know. Y'all was full of messages. Never know. Funny how we know when you're down. Pray for me. Pray that I get this job. Pray that they let my baby out that prison. Pray for them. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What are you, where you at? He's inconvenienced right now. Just pray that y'all would convenience him. What'd he do? No, now. Tell it. But you see, that's us. That's us. Let's go back to Leviticus so I can knock out these 7 steps. See, we think we got it because we got the Bible and can talk and debate all the time. Sometimes you just got to shut the hell up. We love to talk and debate and say things, right? Step 4, Leviticus 23, verse 23. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, notice, not in the 6th month, Not just because it says September. That's the name the heathens gave it. We're counting the months according to the numbering of Abba Yahweh. It ain't going but so far. That March, April time frame of the month of Abib, brothers and sisters, it ain't going but so far, okay? You can say what you want to say, and the law of Yahweh and the time frame of it all, it rolls back and forth, but it ain't going but so far. And as I know that it ain't going but so far, because if we study it like we ought to, we would see all of that. So when you're trying to get Yahweh's people to see this, they keep trying to fight it, trying to resist it. Footnote, white man's Bible. Footnote, the Jewish calendar, which is based on lunar months, had its beginning at this time. The first month was called Abib, as mentioned in Exodus 13:4. It was called Abib up until the Babylonian captivity. After that time, it was called Nisan. See Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 1. See Esther chapter 3, verse 7. On modern calendars, it corresponds exactly to the latter part of March and the first part of April. Footnote, right at the bottom of Exodus 12. Now, I got a question. If Yahweh says here in Leviticus chapter 23, let's go back and get it, that in the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahweh's Passover. Notice, 14th day of the first month. That's the month of Abib. Now I'm up on step 4. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, you shall have a Shabbat, a memorial, a blowing the shofar, a Kodesh convocation. Step 4. Notice, Yahweh said in the 7th month. Now, the Jewish community is so slick, they got it on the calendar. Passover come April the 1st, right? They keeping it April Fool's Day. Ain't it interesting that it fell on that day? On the calendar, they call it All Fool's Day. When are they counting the first month? Are they saying it's April? April, May, June, July, August, September. How many fingers I'm holding up? So if you're keeping the Feast of Yahweh on September 11th, saying that that's trumpets, I got 6 months. Oh, can you grab them for me, darling? I got 6 months. Let me do it again. Thank you, beautiful. Let me see it. Let me try it again. April, May, June, July, August, so now I got counted from September 11th, according to the text, as humble as it was. And that should be the Feast of Trumpets. See, that's the culture of the European world carried over so heavy in Yisrael, we don't even have the common sense to catch these people when they doing what they want to do. See, if you ain't never been with somebody that's suicidal, you don't know how dangerous it is. Imagine having somebody suicidal and he feeling bad. I tell you what, hey, remember that plane, that Asian airline plane, whatever, where the pilot was suicidal? He was on all kind of medication, and he just was determined. He was so tired, he wanted to kill himself. All them innocent people wanted to go somewhere else. Huh? I don't remember the whole story, but I do remember that they were saying that he was suicidal or whatever it was, and therefore he wanted to kill himself. Now, everybody had to die because you wanted to kill yourself. Why don't you go do like a mouse? Now, a mouse will get in your house, terrorize you, torment you, hiding, doing all the stuff, sneaking around everything, leave his little droppings everywhere. But then when he get a hold of that poison that you set for him, he said, all right, I'll fix you. I'm going to go somewhere you can't find me, and I'll go here and be stinking for a few weeks. Now, you can't find him no more because he went off in shame because death was a shame or a disgrace to him, and he didn't want to be found. Now, you want to die, but everybody got to die with you. So let me see if I got this straight. People that hate Yahweh, people that hate Yahshua, people that say Yahshua should be burning in hell in boiling excrement, calling him a bastard child and all this stuff. And you're going to be that damn dumb to follow them. And tell a man that y'all count it and follow down. You can get the rest for yourself. And don't ever text me again. Don't ever call me with nothing that damn dumb, because you put more faith in the devil's children than you did Yahweh's children, and you can't even count. All Yahweh's people got to know is the moon is not going to lie. It fluctuates. And all these calendars right up here keep showing it. It comes in April, comes in March, come back in April, come in March. Feast days go up. It ended. One started in Day of Atonement, October 1st. It ended Tabernacles, the 6th. Ended on the 14th. All that. All of the stuff keeps lining up. You have a time frame. You have a cycle. It ain't got nothing to do with whatever is on the calendar. Yahweh's people had to keep watch. Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to start notifying you all just for sake of doing what the scripture says do. We'll get into it and sure enough lay it out. If it ain't no more than an hour, we'll hold a new moon prayer service if that's what it's got to take to announce it every month, because Yahweh's people need to be taught how to watch, how to pay strict attention. It's 30 days. The moon takes 7 days growing. On the 7th day, it looks like a capital D. I don't care where you are on the earth. It's always the same. Stand still and look up at that sky. It's a capital D. It's going to be to your right. 7 more days is the 14th of the month. You got a full moon. On the 15th day, you got a full moon. On the 16th day, it wanes just a little bit. Just enough when you look at it, see it ain't completely circled. 17th is waning in a little more. 18th is more and more. And then eventually on the 21st day, you got a capital D in reverse. It's to your left. And in 7 more days, it's going to wane away. On the 28th, that'll be the last time you see it. Look like a fingernail, the tip of your finger. Because on the 29th and the 30th, you are not going to see that moon. These devils tell you the new moon, dark moon. Then that puts all of the months. If they're doing it like that, that puts every month at 29 days. But of course, House of Israel don't know nothing, because we shepherds, we sitting around watching and studying all this stuff for nothing, because somebody at home can text us and tell us we wrong. See, if I were that weak where you could just get in my head and make me doubt myself or doubt what Yahweh showed to me, then we'd all be messed up. We be keeping it any time of the year. Some assemblies, and that's not disrespecting, but it is true. Some assemblies got floating feast day where they just going and they all around the calendar. That is not true. How then are you going to have a memorial of when you came out of the place if you done distorted everybody's memory? No, y'all. We are in this world, but we are not of this world. We got to know Yahweh's calendar. We got to know Yahweh's timepiece. We got to know Yahweh's signs, and we got to really be able to stand on these things, but we won't do it. Step number 5. Verse 27, also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement unto you. Notice, the 10th day of the 7th month, not the 6th month. See, we all cool with it being June, the 6th month of the year, but that's pagan time. You should do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you, which Yahweh for you before Yahweh your Elohim. Now, you got to know some of this stuff to understand why it was kicking off like it kicked off down in Egypt. Joseph was Yisrael's covering. He was the atonement. He was down there and covered their sins. They had to get up out of the land where they were and go into Egypt. Joseph was already there. He was a type of covering. He held the role and the position, not being the Savior, but a type of the Messiah. That's why he was there. Sat down there, and our people don't catch these things. Why does the Jewish community not say it? Because they don't believe in the Messiah. And the one that they're expecting, if you notice, they don't even say his name. These people are quiet on this. This is a dangerous time to be living in, y'all. They expecting the Messiah. And the one that's going to come is evil, going to push a whole global system and make you not be able to buy or sell. If you ain't got that mark, you ain't got nothing coming. Now, so you all don't get discouraged, I'm going to tell you a little something. How many of y'all got jobs where you and your boss kind of like really get along, where they really like you? Pay attention to that. Because you and the way that they like you, there's a reason why Yahweh let you find favor in their sight. Because when this system go down, remember, Daniel spoke to you. Daniel said that some of those of the kingdom of Yahweh shall fall. And when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help. Where do you think you're going to get it from? Especially somebody that don't serve Yahweh, but look up and realize they done accepted that. The Bible said this is the mark of the devil. Well, I had to do it. I had to take. Well, look, you know what? I ain't got a lot of space, but you have always served me well or did this, do that. I'll hide you and your children, you and your family. Just don't say nothing. You do the house. You do my chores. You be there made of, but you don't know how all of it's going to work out. But y'all are going to make some of these people protect you, provide for you. Others, you'll get out in that wilderness. He'll make a way for you. I don't know if you ever been out in the wilderness showing up when a rainstorm or something hit. Do you know sometimes you can be in the woods for hours before the water actually fall down to you? Because it's got so many trees and so many leaves to hit and land on. It's got so much stuff. You out there long before the water hit you. You don't know how y'all would make a thing work. I'm telling y'all. We were out there, they did the snow detail and all this other stuff, and I was looking at the steam coming up off the snow. You ever see fog come up off the snow? Because when it warms up and the snow is cold, I don't know what the core temperature is in the mounds of snow, but because it's cooling, because it's warming up, it creates a dense fog. Yahweh know how to protect you. He know how to cover you. He watered the grass. You go right over here at Clifton Park and see that park in the morning time. Come through there at 5 or 6 in the morning, and it looked like the sky just leaned down, kissed the earth. All the clouds be right there. Then by 7:30, 8 o'clock, you see the cloud. They move on up. Get up out the way. No, Yahweh got a way to do everything for his people. We sitting back worrying about obeying and being like that. Ain't nobody trying to be like them. Please, man, we got to know. We around just looking for reasons to argue and debate each other. You know what's going to humble us as a people? When y'all start taking all the very things that you and I love, all the stuff that's so convenient now, that makes life so convenient that we really forget Yahweh. Remember, he told you, be careful how you eat. Lest you eat and be full and lay back, kick your feet up and forget Yahweh. You know, sometimes what they say, you know, some people get $2 above rent money. And what they say? Y'all laugh. Y'all must know that then, huh? I heard a brother say that years ago. Yeah, nigga get $2 above rent money. He start acting different. I'm like, $2 above rent money? What that mean? I ain't know. But I know now. We get a little something. We get uppity. In other words, I got the rent paid. I kick back now. So it's a figure of speech. He just get $2 above his rent money. He done paid everything else, and they got $2 whole, you know. I went to buy something the other day, and I forgot what it was, what it came to. Little lady, almost like she guessed my pocket. I pulled all my little money out, and when it was done and over, she gave me $2 and some change back. And I was like, wow, $2 whole. So I can get a bag of chips. She said, and a soda. I said, no. You ain't get no soda. You ain't get no soda. You ain't got enough for the soda. And she just laughed. But you know the horror story of it? It's true. A bag of chips is $2.39 in the store. Remember, a lot of you older folk, you remember we paid $0.25 for them. $0.25. Come on, man. Please. Remember your parent give you $0.25, you go to the store and buy so much candy, or you have all that sugar, you playing, running around all night, trying to burn off all that sugar. Yeah, what you getting with $0.25 now? They tell you better go over there and lick that glass, that candy case where it is. That'd be about the best you can do. All right, that was cold. Step number 6. Speak unto the children of Yisrael, saying, the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, 7 days unto Yahweh. On the first day should be a Kodesh convocation. You should do no servile work therein. 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. You cooking. Now, let's be real about the Feast of Tabernacles. Y'all remember them days? I was looking at some of them pictures the other day. We was out here, we were cooking, grilling, had the word going, they were teaching, and the brothers was happy. Remember that? I ain't gonna say no name, but there was some pictures of the brothers. Minister Taylor, you would see, I'm gonna show you these pictures later. You'll see the brothers, they was out back with their little plates. The Hoties was in the picture and all. They was in the background. One Hoti face was looking at a couple of brothers like, you gonna eat all that? It was the type of expression was on your face, and I was like, trying to blow the picture out. Let me see what's on his plate, because it really did catch it. I'm like, oh, I see. But point being, don't nobody. Y'all ready for this? Let's be real. Don't nobody in the world party like black people. Tell the truth. No, nobody in the world party like black people. Now, can I say this with you having a full understanding of this? To party, to rejoice, to celebrate, whatever it is in Abba Yahweh, he give you festivals just for that purpose, because it is your expressive. You praise me, you honor me. It is I, Abba Yahweh, who have done these great things. So notice, he give you 7 days. You should offer an offering made by fire. That's cooking. Yahweh ain't coming down to get it. Like he popped up at the Feast of Tabernacles on the 3rd day. Mr. Taylor, you got them steaks ready or what? Oh, come on, we're down here. You ain't got none. Did you put any seasoning on it? He ain't coming to eat it. You eating it. People get all offended, be dragging in during the feast day, come in and do shalom. Oh, shalom like that. You don't even sound peaceful, right? Y'all don't hear me. They sure did. Condemned us for cooking. That was funniest condemnation I seen in a long time. A single mother. What, she had 5 babies? Bunch of babies. Not a baby daddy nowhere in the picture. All these babies, you getting on us. I'm like, come on, girl, you one EBT card away from the penitentiary, and you talking trash to us and think, no. All right. Strike that from the back. Strike, you know. It is what it is. All right, man. See, but man, he made me laugh. But anyway, that's how people do you. We will condemn one another for doing what we already doing. No, let's pull this thing together, man. Let's just serve the way we're supposed to serve. Let's do this thing with a joy and gladness in Abba Yahweh. It's a season. It's a cycle. And I'm going to tell you something as I wind down. You can't miss these feast days and these dates and then expect that if by chance you are alive to be regathered. Because what if your dates are off? What if you're so wrong? What if you ain't celebrated, as he says in the scripture, in his season? See, we miss it. After a while, it comes like clockwork. You know, it's the 15th day of the 7th month. You know, it's the first day of the 7th month. You know, it's the first day of the 1st month that establishes your year. You following a bunch of dummies, a bunch of idiots that tell you the 7th month is the Jewish New Year. And when you ask them, hey man, show me that in the scripture. I want to see that for myself. Let me see that in the scripture. They can't find it. So that's 2 things today we're closing on that we want to see in the scripture. Show us where the 7th month is the new year, and show us where, in the event you don't vote, you're going to hell. Show it to me. Because that's all our people know. Our ancestors died for the right to vote. Really? It don't make a bit of sense at all. Died for the right to vote. Now, you know how people like to lie and twist things around, right? You know how people like to be included in stuff. So what the crackhead supposed to say? Leave me alone, let me smoke. My ancestors died for my right to smoke this crack. Right? What the hoe supposed to say? Leave me alone, leave me hoeing. My ancestors died for my right to hoe. I am somebody. Right? So if you're gonna lie like that, I know that. My ancestors died for the right for me to be in this jail cell. I mean, we believe so much stupid stuff that we don't want to believe Yahweh. And you know the funny thing about it? The reason a lot of times we don't really believe Yahweh and believe Yahweh's people because the messages don't come looking like we want them to look. See, if I stood up here and I look like Joel Osteen, they'll love me. This is my Bible. This is my pen. I will read the word and we'll say it again, or whatever it is he say. Just anyway, you know, I can't get away with T.D. Jakes no more. He pretty much washed up. He done been at Diddy parties getting swallowed. He done anyway, skip that. But y'all know I'm telling the truth. Yeah, all Hollywood stuff. He done been in several Tyler Perry movies. Who else? Who we got? Yeah, Gino. See, I'd be so hurt when I see the Hebrews go at Gino and debate him because they never go prepared. Have y'all ever studied his debate style? I know a brother, he wants to see us debate so bad. And I keep trying to tell his brother, look, man, I don't even respect Gino Jennings. See, it's some people. I got in a fight with a bully one time in school, right? We were trying to avoid a confrontation with him, but I couldn't stand him. I didn't like him, but I knew deep down, I said, he really can't fight. I said, y'all scared of him because he got a mob, he got a crowd of people. But I watched him fight, and I realized he ain't that good at it. I said, if you really get up on him, you got to rush him. I'm telling my cousin, I said, if you ever have to fight him, you got to rush him. You got to get up on him and put them hammers on him. I said, go to that left side because his left arm is a little weaker. And I kept saying it. And I never thought the day would come where I would be the one that had to fight him. And I tore that rib cage up. I said, yeah, I knew he couldn't fight. And it's the same thing with Gino. You know how Gino shut everybody down? If you ever noticed it, he shut everybody down because he overtalked you. He never let you make your point. And you got to be the person to debate him by saying, shut up, because I ain't finished my point. If you can make yours, I'm going to make mine. And then you got to go at his men. Because if you ever paid attention, he got his strong men. They read, and everybody that ever went at him, they went up there singular. You go up there singular, then you got to go like David. David went, but he wasn't by himself. Yahweh was with him. See, you can't preach in 2026 and not know of Yahweh. I had a brother in the city of Baltimore. I'm not one of those afraid or scared ministers. But when I would teach the word and say things, they had all the paid activists fighting me. But I kept saying Yahweh's name and the Torah and the commandments and different things. So there's this activist. The brother came out, and Minister John can tell you about it. He apologized to all of us because he started realizing something. Yahweh whipped his back. And they were telling me he'd get on his program on Mondays, and he told the people, I will never call him Lord, God, or Jesus ever again. Because Brother Johnson was right. His name is Yahweh, and his son is Yahshua. And he said that, and he stood on that. But we were this close to a physical altercation because it's a certain way he would always talk to me. And I was always thinking, brother, all them other preachers that live by that turn the other cheek rule, that rule is for Yisrael. We should forgive one another. When we're in error and fault and in failure, you got to know how to let a thing go and forgive one another. But when an enemy approaches you, Yahweh's law teaches you how you fight. David said, blessed art thou, Yahweh teaches my hands to war and my fingers to fight. And I was always ready. I let brother man know the day you buck, you give me any problem, I'm going to put these hands on you in a way where you're going to wish you hadn't been born. And he said, really? But it wasn't really in a sense of disrespecting me. It was, he really considered that I was holding a level of anger. I'm going to beat you so bad your grandfather going to feel it because you are disrespecting Yahweh in a way where you need to be stopped. However, Yahweh had mercy on whom he will have mercy. And that brother sit up on them airways every week, and he keeps saying the same thing over and over again. And he giving the city the big ups, letting them know, no, you had one man that did not back down when everybody was opposed to him. And his name is Yahweh, and that brother been saying it for years. So you never know how Yahweh will straighten people out and tighten them up. I told you the story of the big woman. I guess I got to say it a little more respectful now, but she was a big woman. She was big. Anyway, she went off on me. Went to a windmill on me. I was like, what in the world? I felt like Keanu Reeves ducking all this. And out of the 100 spins in her windmill, one of them caught me. And I was like, that's it. Woman or not, you trying to be a man, I'm getting ready to break your jaw. And the little lady said, don't do that, Brother Johnson. You'll break her jaw. I realized that at that precise moment, Yahweh spoke to that little woman. Said, don't do it. Because it was disrespectful. She texted me and apologized because they looking up and they catching on and they learning. The man didn't back down because it was the truth. Yahweh set a whole city on fire for his name's sake and for his people. He said that you are the apple of his eye. And if you all really want to unlock the blessings of Torah, first things first, you got to repent of your sins, your faults, your failures, your shortcomings. While you repenting of your sins and praying for forgiveness, don't forget me in it. Because when I pray for forgiveness and my sins and different things, I got to remember you. When one is down, one is sick, then we all down, we sick. Keep each other in mind in prayer. As of this day, when you pray, remember those that are sick that you don't know about. Ask Yahweh, have mercy upon them. Sometimes people's hearts are so pure, they've suffered and won't even tell you they suffer. Some people are struggling. Some people are hungry. Some people are going through things. Everybody that I can't reach out to, you got different numbers. Reach out to one another. Remember each other. Keep the circle of prayer going. And as you pray, ask Yahweh to unlock that power that he promised to Yisrael, because we're going to need it. We're entering the era where we're now going to need Yahweh's power upon us to fight for us. You ain't seen an enemy like the enemy we got. They are so mad and angry. Imagine somebody that has a hatred for you, that's so deep, so deeply connected, so hardwired within their vessel that they know the name of Yahweh and Yahshua and use it and call upon it. Now here's where you got to flip the switch. Because though they're using the name of Yahweh and call upon Yahweh and Yahshua, they hate you. Because you are his and they are not. And they intend to supplant you. Hegseth and all of them, the military, a lot of them people know the name. Do you all hear me? You looking at some of them people looking at your slaves, okay? You think it's impossible because somebody come to the name of Yahweh and thinking that they would change. If they're devils, but they're calling on the name of Yahweh, then they can't change. They still want to supplant you. Look at Esau. He hated his brother and was intending to kill him and was not playing. Esau seed today running around out here. You gotta know a Bible map. You gotta be able to read. You gotta see where Esau's descendants went. They went, regrouped, then they came back. And as they came back, they pretended to be you. You got to remember, Esau came up in his father's house. He knew the word. He knew the law. He understood the birthright. But when he had committed a murder and done something, and the boys of the great man he killed came to kill him, he fled. His brother caught him while he was in a desperate situation. Sell me your birthright. What? Birthright? Man, I'm about to die, man. He packing the bag, trying to flee. Ain't no birthright. What's that? Give me that. Hold. Sell me your birthright. All right, yeah, you got that. Give me that. Give me that. And he ate that red potted meat. But he didn't know he put his soul on the line. And the word said he kept that wrath forever. And then he went off. You got to pay attention to where he picked his wives from and his children, because that bloodline and that lineage and that hatred boiled in that bloodline. And next damn thing you know, generations later, when he came back, Joel talked about it. Ezekiel talked about it, how he kept that perpetual wrath, that hatred. He knows the Torah. This is why they always try to mislead you. Esau said, today's the morning for my father coming. In other words, daddy gonna die one day. He ain't got to know it, but when daddy die, I'm gonna kill him. He hated Jacob. So what would make us think that we can just look on the calendar that he saw and his seed got total control over, and he gonna tell us the truth? Nah, man, it's time we snap up out of that. It's time we come up out of it. Sometimes somebody may know a lot more than you give them credit for, and you just don't want them to be right. So then you hate them, you go at them, you divide, you conquer, you argue with them, you challenge them, you chastise them. We know people got mad with us and got up off the channel, and then they back under another name and they sneak watch. That's true story. Sneak watch. Got mad because they got set straight in the comment section. I ain't do it, but moderator set them straight. They get mad, stop dealing with us. And then just all of a sudden, I'm back. So, Yisrael, I say this to you all in conclusion. It is time now that Yahweh's people get with step number 6. He said, let them know the 15th day of the 7th month, the Feast of Tabernacles, you'll be keeping it for 7 days. On the 8th day is a great feast. You enjoy yourselves, because technically all it's about is him coming back to get you. It's the regathering. That's all it is. Step 7, in conclusion, verse 39. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land. The fruit of the land is symbolic of the people. You should keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days. On the first day should be a Shabbat, and on the 8th day shall be a Shabbat. Ye shall take to you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim 7 days. Recoil Magazine, Emergency Preparedness, and several others, always teaching that stuff. And white folks real big on that. Right around that September, October time frame. They real big on that camping and outdoorism and all that other stuff. Most of us, we scared of little bugs and different things, right? I was looking at a little video clip the other day. The man was out in the wilderness camping and just turned his flashlight on. Biggest spider you ever want to see, just sitting on top of his tent. Had to be at least that big. Now, I got to admit, that been the last year we used that tent, because I put so many holes in that tent. Homeboy would have caught every shell in the chamber, in the clip. He'd have got every bullet from the store. I'd been reaching back to the city, reloading. Just anyway, my point. For many of us that are scared, Yahweh said that even Yisrael will be able to sleep outside in the woods, and none shall make them afraid. Because he said he's going to make a covenant even with the beasts of the forest, even with the animals, the plant life, everything, that the trees shall receive them and be glad to have. Come on, y'all. Look, you know we terrible. Can we admit that? We black folk terrible as people. You know that, man. And when the trees look up and see you get yourself together and the wind blowing, the trees look like they clapping their hands. Oh, man, look at Boo Boo. Oh, man, look, he keeping the feast day. Look, they out here. Oh, man, come on, Pookie, man. They be so happy. Look at her. Remember, she used to be twerking out here every summer. No, we're going to be cleaned up. And people hate the thought of you knowing you're going to be cleaned up. And that's why the devil go at us and try to divide us and conquer us, make us fight each other, make us think we can't get it done, make us think we ain't worthy of it, make us think we ain't going to make it through, make us think we thieves and robbers, welfare queens, all this stuff. White folk make me sick with that crap. How we get to be the biggest people on welfare when you keep saying for years we 13% of the population? How do black people keep having babies, outnumbering them 5-1, but we stay 13%? We've been 13% since 1869. 13%. The way black people having children. My grandmother died with 5 sons, 28 grandchildren, 105 great grandchildren. I forget how many greats, and just all this now through one woman. Now, her alone had a fraction of a percent on the population rise. Well, here we just 13%. Come on, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. And we buy into it so bad, we ourselves, sisters, ain't no good men out here. You can't be pregnant and say that. Right or wrong? Sister, you cannot be pregnant or have been pregnant and say that. Ain't no good men out here. You sure stay pregnant. Somebody did that. You ain't going to tell me Helen and Martha made a baby. You ain't going to convince me of that. So we got to pray that we all get turned around. And when we get turned around, Yahweh said he going to make the earth rejoice for you. We don't know what. Man, we don't know nothing. Man. We don't know science. We don't know math. We don't know how Yahweh going to multiply your fruit, your vegetation, your plant life, all this stuff. Come on, man. Yahweh say the trees going to be so beautiful in the kingdom aid that even the trees should be for the healing of the nation. Anybody got to write you no prescription? Grandma be done told you, go on down and get you 2 of them pears. Sit down, eat them pears and rest your nerves. You get back up. My stomach ain't gone. Good. Bring me them dishes. We don't know the power of Yahweh because we're so busy trying to just play Hebrew. It's time to stop playing Hebrew now. It's time to be a Hebrew and do what Yahweh say do. Because I know somebody, he brewing too. His anger is brewing, and he's not playing with the nation. I wish they would just get long enough to just stop that old racism and all that other stupid stuff that they do. I wish they could come to their senses, but they can't. So, you that's your device. You go and roll with it. As for us and our household, what we say, we're going to serve Yahweh forever. So Yisrael, we got them 7 steps. We're going to lay them days out. We're mailing and sending out as many of the feast days as possible. Call, text, write, email, jump on the chat line, whatever it is. Get your information in so that we can get the feast days out to y'all as best we can. We're going to serve Yahweh. We're going to rejoice. We're going to pray for one another. We're going to walk one another. We're going to work with each other because we got some tough days coming down the line now. And I'm telling y'all, we want to be ready. Because if we're not ready, then we need to be ready to know that we're going to perish. All minds clear? No further questions, comments? Blessed be the name of Yahweh. Let us stand. Abba Yahweh, we told you for the greatness of the gift of our lives, our health and strength. We thank you for the activity of our limbs, for blessing us to be able to walk before you and striving to walk in a manner that's clean, honorable, and acceptable in your sight. We ask special prayer, Father Yahweh, for those of your people, wherever they are, those that are sick, that are downtrodden in spirit, mind, body, and soul. We ask that you touch them in a very special manner. You said unto us many great and wonderful things in your word, how you will baruch us in all our ways. We're simply asking that you cleanse us of all of our sins, all of our faults, our failures, and our shortcomings, that we may be able to rejoice, not just in the world to come, but even the few days that we have in this lifetime. Teach us, Abba Yahweh, to number our days, that we may walk up before you and be able to rejoice in all your holy and Kodesh days, that we are yours, to know that you have commanded these things upon us, and the blessings of the universe upon the children of Yisrael and as many Gentiles as will come unto you. In the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, we humbly pray and ask these blessings. Hallelujah. 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 Way. Happy Sabbath unto you all, Yisrael. And I do believe that light refreshments are served in the dining hall.